So I was just bored scrolling through YouTube one day until I saw something mentioning PvZ2 Gardendless, and after looking into it, I fell in love with it instantly. A full PC port of PvZ2 devoid of all microtransactions, clean animations, and some like entirely new content as well. Finding this mod was a big day for the unemployed like me, so I sat down and spent the next week or so just beating the whole game and unlocking everything. But now that I beat it, I felt the need for more. So here we are today, beating the entire game minus Kung Fu Temple while randomizing every single plant. The rules for this challenge are pretty simple. Number 1, I must play on B difficulty, beat the first boss of every world, and as briefly mentioned in the intro, I decided to not do Kung Fu Temple as I want to keep it closer to like base PvZ2. Number 2, during every plant selection screen, I must use a randomizer with every plant I currently own, and I have to use whatever it gives me. However, there's a few exceptions to this, like for example, if it's a sun produce level, I just have to roll until I get at least one sun source, and yes, even if it sucks like Sunbeam, I just think it's fair because it's not possible to do it without one. Number 3, if failing to beat a level, I must try again and reroll every plant. I can't like choose to keep anything. Number 4, I'm allowed to go in any order I want for the worlds, but once I start one, I can't stop and go somewhere else. I have to finish what I started and then I can move on. And finally, number 5, you have to subscribe to the channel. I'm sorry it's in the rules, so you have to do it. I'm sorry. But with all this out the way, I present to you the Plants vs Zombies 2 Plant Randomizer. So starting off with the good old classic ancient Egypt. The plants that can be unlocked here are cabbage pole, bloomerang, iceberg lettuce, gravebuster, bok choy, repeater, and twin sunflower. This makes ancient Egypt a really good world for plants, placing it at the tippity top of A tier. I'm gonna go ahead and skip past the first 5 levels here since I don't have enough plants to even randomize it yet, plus one of them is just a conveyor level. But finally at level 6, the challenge now officially begins. To randomize the plants, I'll just be using this random website. All I gotta do is just put the plants here, then upload however many that I need. So with the first level here, I rolled everything except for iceberg lettuce. It kinda sucks as I like using him to like stall to start, but it's so early in that it doesn't really matter what I get. After beating day 6, I took a quick detour here. Now for those that haven't ever seen Gardendless before, basically there's these paths that unlock after beating certain levels which lead to a rift. Once entering the rift, it's like a whole nother world just for unlocking plants. Once beating the required levels behind the plant, then the plant is yours to keep forever. In this case, the plant I was trying to unlock here was squash. Super cheap and really strong insta-kill, so it can definitely save me at times. Especially on later worlds with stronger zombies, it is a must, honestly. I was able to beat the starting conveyor level relatively easy, and once actually entering the rift, the first level was given plants, so that also made it fairly simple to beat. But once I attended the second level and realized I had to actually like choose my plants again, yeah, I got cooked pretty fast. Thankfully, I was given sunflowers, but it honestly wasn't even enough to save me. So I backed out and I'd come back to this once I had like better plants. We quickly did the matching minigame on day 7, which I actually quite enjoy. Then we got to the mini boss key level thing next up. These key levels I feel like are meant to be like hard, but I don't know a single person that ever like struggles with them. Even in later worlds, it's still not hard to beat. But anyways, honestly, the rest of Egypt is kind of a cakewalk. Since it's so early, I'm still super likely to get sunflowers, and even the times I didn't get sunflower, it was still relatively easy. I was flying through most levels, unlocking plants left and right, even with the most stupid setups. And I really only started to get like trouble at day 22. Day 22 is that don't plant a mold colony and don't have more than 15 plants. Honestly, not too bad of objectives as long as not those dirty flowers. God, I hate those. My first attempt at this one sadly had no sunflowers, which was already a bit of a rough start. I wasn't doing too bad though, you know, using bloomerangs as the main fire source, saving some resources by just letting a lawnmower go, getting overrun by a sandstorm. Getting overrun by a sandstorm? Yeah, unfortunately, I was doing pretty well, but then a huge wave hit, and I kind of just lost like all my momentum. So that run was dead. But it's alright, let's do another attempt and hopefully get better plans. This is gonna be a long video, isn't it? Thankfully, I did make it further than the last attempt, but we still fell short near the end and I couldn't kill this pharaoh zombie in time. But hey, you know what? It's alright. I'm unemployed, I got all day. So I ran another attempt and finally got a sunflower and gravebuster, which is huge. Obviously, when I ended up beating with that, then honestly, there isn't too much left. Day 23 was the final matching minigame, so that was easy. Day 24 was a planned defense, which is definitely my favorite type of objective. I love doing them. And yes, for planned defense levels, it's still random plants with what I can use. I still can't choose anything. Then finally, day 25 was Zombus, which, like always, is a conveyor level. It's honestly kind of unfortunate because like the final boss of the world, like the cinematic level ending, but I'm basically always gonna skip over it because I'm not randomizing the plants. So it's just a bit anticlimactic, sadly. But with that done, that is ancient Egypt complete. I'm more than welcome to go like past the boss to unlock more stuff, but spoiler alert, I don't think I ever do that in this video. With all this said and done, we're ready to sail into the next world. Boing Seta. My bad, I think it was like 5 AM when I wrote that. I just need like a placeholder for text, and I just chose that plant. Not really sure why. But next up, we got Pirate Seas. Yet again, another classic beginning world. The plants that can be unlocked here are Kernel Pole, Snapdragon, Spikeweed, Springbean, Coconut Cannon, Three-Peter, Spike Rock, and Cherry Bomb. Honestly, the plants here are decent. There's some pretty good ones, and there's definitely some ones I would personally never use if I actually could choose them. So I just place it in B tier, at least for now. The thing that I value more in Pirate Seas though is definitely the extra seed slot upgrade. Getting that in the challenge like this is so huge. It gives me much more chances to actually get something like good. So let us begin, shall we? I'm gonna skip past the first few days here because they just weren't too interesting, except for day 3, of course, the GOAT minigame right here. But I will stop at day 5 to say it was indeed a really big day. I know it just seems like a normal survive with given plants level, but after beating it, I realized that we had around 16,000 coins. What you can do with coins in Gardendless is buy gems, and with gems you can buy upgrades or new plants. So I went ahead, entered the shop, bought the gems, and went straight to upgrades and purchased myself a brand new limited edition mitten box shiny new seed slot. Now if we do some advanced calculus, that will now give us 7 plants to choose instead of 6. And if we finish Pirate Seas, we'll have 8 total slots, which brings us to the max amount already on World 2. I definitely think getting that extra slot is more worth than any upgrade and plant for that matter. Especially for a challenge like this, I just think it's honestly the most important thing. Day 6 gave us not 1, not 3, not 4, but a total of 2 sunflowers, which honestly was a bit overkill just for base pea shooters, but it's whatever, we'll take it. Fast forward day 7 and straight to a classic key boss level at day 8. Like I said in Ancient Egypt, these are all pretty simple. I really like the one in Pirate Seas though, because it's satisfying to plant food the butter seeing all the seagull zombies die. But that's about it. We got the key and moved on. Fast forwarding quickly a bit, day 9 and 10 both had no sunflowers and we were still able to get past them. Day 11 was another infamous Coconut Cannon barrage, which actually led us to unlocking Coconut Cannon. And man, let me tell you, Coconut Cannon soon becomes one of the most commonly appearing plant that never gets placed due to its cost. So that's pretty fun. Day 12 had nothing interesting. Day 13 was a sun produce level, so we were guaranteed at least 1 sun source, which ended up just being based on flowers, so we'll take it. Day 14 was a fun plane defense, which I went with only catapults and some spikeweeds, which worked surprisingly well. Honestly, we were doing really well, just smooth sailing through every level here. It didn't really look like nothing could stop us. Oh no. Oh no. Anything but that. Day 15 was our first sight of don't let the zombies trample the flowers. I don't know about y'all, but I hate this objective so much. It's just so unbelievably stupid for some imp just be walking by cluelessly and whoops, you lose. It's so much worse on like some certain worlds, but we'll worry about those later. Thankfully for our first attempt here, we got sunflowers and walnuts, so we can just block off the flowers. So realistically, this shouldn't be too bad, right? Oh shit, wait, already? I have nothing down. No way, bro. What? That was so... I had no time. Yeah, thankfully though, attempt 2 went better. Oh my god, the fucking cannon. Dude, I didn't even see the entire... I had no time to react to that. Okay, surely attempt 3 is good, right? Surely that's the one. No, I didn't even see the... Bro, I didn't even see the middle lane. Are we serious? I don't want to do this anymore, man. I meant to say attempt 4. Attempt 4 is where we lock in. Surely. I hope. Please. Oh my god. Okay, finally we're done. Never again, man. Please tell me there's no more of these dumbass levels in this world. Dude, I don't want to do this again. I'm good, honestly. I'm good. Yeah, see 4 attempts. So that's not too bad. I wasn't even worried. Sure, I got a little bit mad. Oh my god, the fucking cannon. But hey, we did it in the end. Hey, and since we're on the topic of objectives we don't like to do, day 16 was to protect endangered plants. Luckily, we did first try it, but man, those suck sometimes. It really just depends on what plant you have to protect though. If it's like walnuts or something, it's not too bad. But if it's like potato mines, bro, what the I do think that like my top 3 worst objectives is don't trample flowers, don't lose more than X plants, and don't spend more than like X sun. I'm sorry, I just had to say that real quick. It's just driving me crazy. Honestly, I wish I could say there was more interesting setups and levels, but it was surprisingly calm for like the rest of the world. Day 15 was the only level I like hard struggled on. Even with 2 other trample the flower levels, I was still able to clutch them both on the first try. Even the final boss was lame because I got so much plant food and cherry bombs, I just kept blowing up zombas. It wasn't even close. So to not bore you, I'd mark this world off as complete and move on to what you might not expect next. Now, I know you're probably saying, wait, why isn't Wild West next, and why Dark Ages out of all worlds? Isn't that like the worst one? And yes, you'd be correct, I hate this world with a La Passion, but that's why I'm doing it now. See, the problem with Dark Ages is that it's the only world to not have sun fall from the sky. So I basically need sunflowers or rely on 0 sun plants like puffshroom or iceberg lettuce, which is why it's being done so early. Since I don't have many plants, it's much more likely for me to pull like a sunflower or puffshroom card. I hope that makes sense. You're gonna quickly learn that I am horrible at explaining things, so please do let me know. But anyways, Dark Ages is actually the shortest world, only having 20 levels compared compared to the usual 25 or 32. The plants that can be unlocked here are Sunshroom, Puffshroom, Fume Shroom, Sunbean, and Magnet Shroom. Definitely not great, but they're super useful for this world, and getting some more sun sources is always good to have, even if they're really bad. So I'll throw it in C tier at least for now. But let's go ahead and start suffering, shall we? Night 1 was so kind to give us Sunshrooms guaranteed, which is huge. I managed to roll both sunflowers anyway, which is super overkill, but hey, I like my odds for the rest of the world then. Of course, it's the first level, so it wasn't hard at all. I even got like a really good setup at the end. Night 2 yet again was super kind to give us both Sunshrooms and Puffshrooms. I can honestly just beat these early levels with just Puffshrooms, so it didn't really matter what plants I got. But don't worry, the RNG gods blessed me up with Coconut Cannon. You're gonna get massive value from that super cheap plant in this world. Anyways, night 2 was a wash, and now those 2 nights are done. We now permanently have Sunshroom and Puffshroom unlocked, which is absolutely massive. Now night 3 was a true test of our luck. No one missed a nice guy from this world. I don't start with anything. It just comes down to this roll. Okay, we're fine. We just got 2 sunflowers, so we're hella chilling for this. There's no way we don't beat it. So yes, luckily, we were saved. Also, can I say something real quick? The Bonk Choy plant food is so strong, I love it. I swear I literally just use it as like a cherry bomb for the last wave or like a strong group of zombies, and it always shreds them. Bonk Choy, my beloved. Night 4 was a fun conveyor belt level featuring one of my favorite plants, the Hypno Shroom. He's been one of my favorites since the first, and he still is in this game. Unfortunately, they aren't worth buying for gems, but if I win this run and don't give up, I'll buy him at the end after to like celebrate. I got you, bro. I won't let you down. Being night 4, I awarded us with Fume Shroom, and that scares me because I think I know what's coming next. Night 5 was our first sight of Jester zombies. On my soul, nobody likes these zombies. They're so annoying. Unfortunately, luck was not on my side for this one. I didn't get Sun Source, I didn't get Puffshrooms, and to top it all off, I have no good way of killing Jester zombies as they reflect, I think, most of this. But oh, don't worry, at least got Coconut Cannon, right? It's right, attempt 2 we were given sunflowers and some decent ways to get rid of Jester zombies, so we were able to beat it with just a few scary moments. After that night, I decided to go back and see which plants the rift led to. And let me tell you, the second I loaded in and saw Floop's attempt to get Vamporcini, I left so fast, man. God, I don't like that plant that much. Night 6 was a fun little plant defense. I had a pretty scuffed setup, but we ended up just pulling through right at the end. Beating this night did award us with the all-powerful Sun Source, also known as Sunbeam. And funnily enough, we actually got Sunbeam on night 7 and it carried us all the way through and we made so much progress. Yeah, we died, but I beat it the next attempt with an actual Sun Source, so we're good. Night 8 was just a giving plants level with my Go Hypnoshroom, so that was quite fun. Night 9 was actually quite a scary one. It was one of those survive with evil potions, and holy, I hate it. We had a super rough start, losing 2 lawnmowers basically instantly, and somehow, even while having some insanely close moments, we were able to clutch it up right at the end. Bonk Choy was honestly such a huge carry. He himself and his plant food saved me so much during that night, so shout out to him. Night 10 yet again another key level, so not too much to document here. It wasn't too bad. Night 11 introduced us to a new zombie, which we all know and love, which is the Wizard Zombie. Honestly, as annoying as they are, it isn't too bad as long as you kill them fast. I can commonly say I hate the octopus zombies more. They're like kind of similar, and I hate the octo ones just way more. I hate it. I can't stand it. But you'll see me crash out about them later, don't worry. One of my main strats for this world is just like stall to start and let some lawnmowers go. I don't know if it's a good idea, but it did really help me here, especially since lawnmowers got rid of all the Graze, which gives me much more sun. So I would say at least in like this world, it's optimal to do. It gave me such a good setup in the end. For night 12, we had to protect endangered plants, which doesn't sound too bad until you realize it's Puffshrooms. I remember when I was younger trying to beat this level, I thought you'd like speedrun it. I had no idea that plant food refreshed their timer. I was quite dumb, not gonna lie. But I do really love that mechanic. I think it makes the level like super interesting. Our loadout for that night was actually super good, so I wasn't worried about it like at all. Night 13 was a fun little showcase level for Peanut, which isn't my favorite plant, but it's not horrible for sure. Night 14 was a sun produce level, but it forced you to only use Sunbeam, which I thought was hilarious. Surprisingly, we passed the first try, just barely reaching the sun count in the final wave. It was definitely a close one, but thank God we got it because that night was not too fun. Night 15 was the planned defense, and you can see me very clearly regret my setup when I got raided by Jester zombies, so that was fun. I just did not expect that many. I don't know what I was thinking, to be honest. I don't know why I thought that would work. Attempt 2 went better, I guess you can say, but my entire setup was still destroyed. The zombies gained so much nutrients that night, but they also all died, so you know, win is a win, I guess. With night 15 done, we unlocked a final plan for this world, which of course would be Magnet Shroom. This yet again scares me because I think I know what's coming next. Night 16, the first sight of the king, which I love dealing with. Just look how happy I was to see him. Oh my god, bro, the king zombie, really? Yeah, I'm off this game. See ya, man. Yeah, I generally crashed out the level and just went to bed, man. That was bad. It's fine. I woke up the next day with a fresh mindset and ready to beat Dark Ages. This was possibly the worst time I've had on Dark Ages. This level took me around 11 attempts to beat. I just kept getting messed up. So what I'm gonna do for these levels that I like hard struggle on is go through and show every attempt while just saying a few things about them. If you don't care to see them, which I don't blame you, you can skip to this timestamp just for the final important one. But if not, here we go. Attempt 1 I quickly showed already, but I got twin sunflowers as my main sun source, and since I don't start with enough sun, I had to let go of some lawnmowers to actually like place one. The only problem is, by that time, the night was basically over already. I could not defend this in time. Attempt 2, honestly, I was really confident in. We got Sunshrooms and some really good plans for offense. We were doing okay, definitely could have been better, but once the first necromancy hit, Yeah, GG's, bro. They actually took over so fast, and I was not prepared for that. Not to mention the 3 kings that spawned, so everything was a knight at this point. We got very quickly overrun, which just hurt to see. Attempt 3 had me using twin sunflowers yet again, but at least this time, we had sunbeams to actually get sun, and we had mushrooms for at least some defense. So it definitely wasn't as bad as before. But you're gonna notice the theme here. Right when the necromancy hit, I got cooked and lost most of my lawnmowers. We're still holding on just barely, then whoops, necromancy part 2, and it was over before I knew it. Attempt 4 was looking promising. I had a pretty organized setup, which very quickly changed after the first necromancy, but let's not worry about that for now. Then I realized my main issue. Those stupid jester zombies, man. I had almost nothing to kill them, so they just cleared my lanes left and right. After they fully destroyed my setup, the 7 million night zombies just saw the perfect chance and took it. Attempt 5 had many sun sources and fume shrooms to deal with those pesky jester zombies. So I had hope. Even used coconut cannon to break the Graze stones, which was a bit overkill, but hey, whatever. This attempt honestly could have been the winning one, but then, you know what? I'll just let you watch it and see my reaction. Okay. No, wait, why did I do that? Oh my god, why did I do that? 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 Dude, this could have been the one. Oh my god, why did I do that? 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 Yeah, so I managed to destroy my entire setup by one stupid decision. The attempt just died shortly after that. You don't understand how stupid I felt in that moment, man. It was so bad. Attempt 6 was actually a very similar setup. We actually got almost all the same plants that we actually want. I made sure to be more careful with coconut cannon this time, but it still didn't save me. I had an unlucky necromancy and to start with a coconut spawning stupidly close. Then that same lane got jumped by knights, so it was over. Attempt 7 literally had the exact same thing happen with the coconut spawning right at the end. This time I at least killed the knight zombie trying to attack it, so ha. It didn't matter though because we still died in the end, but at least that night zombie died. That's a win in my books. Attempt 8 I don't even want to talk about. I keep getting these stupid necromancies that spawn zombies right at the end. All I need is a good way to clear gravestones. I just never roll Gravefuster, it just doesn't happen. Attempt 9 was easily our closest one. Had a great sun source, great way to clear graves, great way to kill jesters, good defense and offense. It was looking super good. But of course all good things must come to an end, and the pile of night zombies that was building up on the walls just pushed through. I had no plant food or like quick insta kill, so they made it quite far in. I thought I could still recover it maybe, but we quite literally had nothing left. Attempt 10 I kind of kept the same strat of using bonk choice for gravestones, and it was working super well. I just didn't have walnuts this time, so I couldn't hold on for too long. Right when they all pushed in, it all fell apart. All I need for a good attempt is walnuts, good way to clear graves, something to deal with jesters, and a good sun source. So right when I learned to attempt 11 and saw literally all of those, I knew this was the one and I had to lock in. There was still a few gravestones. I had to like stall and remove stuff and spam, and god, honestly watching it back it's such a mess. Like there's just so much happening. I don't know what to say, honestly. But we did end up clutching it, and thankfully that was the last hard level for Dark Ages. Night 17 was another evil potion one, but I spammed the hell out of bonk choice and it worked out surprisingly well. Especially with them spawning in the middle here, they literally just got jumped instantly and it was so satisfying to watch. Night 18 was another peanut showcase, so it's nice to relax there. Night 19 was a protect the endangered magnet shrooms, so I was down for that since those night zombies were actually driving me mental. Then I realized that there's only 20 levels in this world, and the relief that hit me was so refreshing. I was finally done with this stupid world. I beat the boss, went to check the shop for the last time, and noticed how cheap peanut was, so I just said screw it and bought it. Kinda regret it, but it's whatever, honestly. As long as we're out of here, I'm good. Finally moving on to a much more simpler world. Now Wild West is a lot more tame compared to whatever the hell I just played, but I still can't say Wild West is one of my favorite worlds, I'm not gonna lie. See, I always love for my lawn to like organized and like perfectly symmetrical, and oh my days, the minecarts always ruin that. It straight up makes you crash out every time, but we'll survive, it's fine. The plants that can be unlocked here are split pea, chili bean, pea pod, lightning reed, melon pult, tall nut, and winter melon. The melon pults are some of the strongest plants in the game. Just by them alone, they boost up the score of the world like a whole lot. But that doesn't mean the other plants in this world are bad. This world still has other super useful plants, and not to mention that lightning reed might be my favorite plant of all time. So with all this being said, I'll place an A tier just right above Ancient Egypt, making it the best world for plants so far. But let us begin, shall we? Day 1 to 3 were just like starting levels, so nothing really to comment here. We did get peanut for some of the days, which is kind of funny considering I just bought it, so hey, you know what, at least we got some value. Day 4 was this fence minigame thing, and it was super boring. Definitely one of my least favorite minigames. It's just so slow, and I don't know, it's not my favorite personally. Day 5 for some reason gave us peanuts again. I don't know why all of a sudden it's like obsessed with nuts, but hey man, that makes the two of them. Moving on. Day 6 was a plant defense, and we had a little bit of a weird setup, just a lot of close range plants. But hey, it ended up working out, and it got us pea pods, so we were chilling. Day 7 hit, and I slowly realized something again. Wild West is so unbelievably easy for this challenge because of the minecarts. Like for example, I loaded in without sunflowers, but I just put a repeater in the cart, and it didn't matter where the zombies came from. It made it so much easier this way. I only needed one good plant with some good minecart spawns, and we were set for like the whole day. Day 8 was the key level, so we easily flew through that, and day 9 was given plants, so same result there. Day 9 did bless us up with lightning reed, reeds, which is by far my favorite plant from Wild West, and maybe even my favorite plant in the whole game, but I'm not sure. It's just so satisfying to use. I don't know, I love it personally. Plus it's pretty cheap and hits across lanes, so like what's not to love? Maybe the damage, but we don't talk about that. Day 10 introduced chicken zombies, which can definitely be annoying, but as long as you got one plant with splash damage or strike through, then you're fine, honestly. Obviously lightning reeds are the most optimal choice, but we can't have nice things, can we? We were at least fortunate enough to get bloomerang, so that cleaned it up pretty good. Day 11 only let me spend 500 sun, which is pretty bad, but the zombies are hella tame, so I was fine just using cabbage bolts. Day 12 was a stupid fence minigame again, so nothing exciting. Day 13, 14, 15, and 16 were all free, but on day 17 is when I finally started getting some trouble. Day 17 is a don't trample the flowers level. I went through 5 attempts with some being so close, and having to fully restart was just so annoying. We did thankfully beat it on attempt 5 with a goat lightning reed. Oh, and peanut, I guess. Day 18 gives me some flashbacks because I used to like grind hella coins on this level with lightning reeds when I would like normally play it, but I can't really do that here, huh? Day 19 was the worst of the worst. This day made me spend under 2k sun, and I can't lose more than 2 plants. I tried it with these plants, but 3 peters were just too expensive for me to keep under 2k sun, so yeah, we dead. Thankfully, attempt 2 gave us goat lightning reeds yet again, and they were just so affordable, it was perfect. Day 20 was the final poopy fence minigame, so skipping over that. I loaded into day 21 with a pretty positive reaction to the objective. Dude, really? Again? Oh my god, man. There's no breaks in this world. It's just constant flowers, 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 sun, 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 sun. It's like taxes, bro. Fucking hell. But at least the zombies were like super weak. Literally the strongest thing there was like a cone net, so we did it first try, thankfully. Day 22 was basically nothing. Day 23 was... What? Are we serious? Again? I don't know what the hell is wrong with Wild West's obsession with trample flowers, but man, do I hate it. There's like 4 back to back. It's so stupid. It's fine that we were able to get lightning reeds once more, and we were able to pass by. Thank God. If I lost with these plants, we would have definitely been here like all day. But that does basically conclude Wild West for us. Day 24 was just protecting endangered nuts, and then it was boss time, so nothing really worth mentioning. Overall, not too bad of a world like at all. Kind of spanned the objectives near the end, like a lot, but it was overall pretty easy for the most part. Next up, we're just continuing in order, so let's see what the future holds for us. Far Future was definitely one of my favorite worlds when growing up. I don't know if that still holds true now, but maybe I'd give it like top 3 or something for my favorites. The plants that can be unlocked here are Laserbean, Blover, Citron, Peach, Infinity Nut, Magnifying Grass, and Tallow Turnip. Some super strong plants with also a mix of plants that are mostly only good for this world. So with that mix, I'd place it maybe top of B tier. But before we get started with Far Future, I decided to go back and attempt to get Squash again. I now have way better plants than when I first attempted it, so I think it was about time that I went back. My first attempt at this started good, but that didn't last too long, sadly. I slowly realized I would need good RNG for a nice mix of catapult plants and non-catapult plants due to the weird mix of zombies they have going on here. Also, sunflowers would be nice, but you know, this game hates me, so that's fun. Attempt 2 of it had a really good start, and surprisingly, I was using Coconut Cannon as like my main fire source. Finally, they get some proper spotlight. They were able to hold down the fort for quite a bit, but once too many groups of zombies spawned in, I got overrun so fast. I lost basically everything except for a few cannons, but I could still clutch this. I saw this plant fruit down here, so I rushed to get it and instantly used it on the Gargantua up here, which helped clear so much. It was getting super close near the end here. I had an imp about to pass into my house and a bughead getting scarily close. Thankfully, the Squash and Coconut Cannon were ready just in time, so we just barely saved it. All I had to do now was just stall the last few zombies for my Coconut Cannon to be ready, and that's exactly what I did, and it just barely worked. The real MVPs here are Coconut Cannon and Squash. It was so unbelievably close to a loss, it's crazy. Then the last level was given plants, so it was fine. It was a bit of a weird level. I had to like force all the zombies into a lane with garlic and then squash them, so that was interesting. But at last, Squash was now ours to use from now on, so that's a huge win in my book. But now, finally starting with the actual Far Future. Like usual, we're gonna skip past the first few levels here and start talking about day 7. Day 7 was basically just a normal evening, especially your normal evenings involve you looking outside your window and seeing a horde of 17 jetpack zombies rapidly approaching your location. So maybe that didn't go as planned. Second attempt, I ended up just spamming lightning reeds, and I had to actually play it a bit optimally near the end with some plant food, but we got it. Even got some squash value, so you'll love to see it already. Day 8 was a key stage, so wow, that's so cool. Day 9 only lets us have 15 plants, which still lets me have a perfect symmetrical lineup with 3 columns, so I was happy with that. This day unlocked Peach for me, and just like Coconut Cannon, he will be another constant reoccurring plant that I basically can't do anything with. So that's amazing. Day 10 was our first time seeing the disco heart thing, which isn't too bad to deal with, but it can definitely be annoying if not gotten rid of quickly. We only had cabbage bolts as a fire source, which isn't too great, but we were luckily also given blowers, so they weren't a problem at all this time around. Later on, you'll probably see some issues occur, but for right now, it's manageable. Day 11 was plant defense, and I'm starting to notice that in a lot of these types, I get lightning reed. Hey, I'm definitely not complaining, but it's just an observation I've made. We passed it very easily with them, of course. Day 12 randomly just had a Gargantua in it, which kind of surprised me. I just didn't really expect it, but it's no worries. We had a very strong defense by the time it showed up, so we were fine. Day 13 provided us with 0 sunflowers and not too cheap at plants. I let some lawnmowers go at the beginning, you know, to like buy me some time. But of course, a jetpack zombie just saw the open door and flew right in like a cartoon character sniffing being up high. Attempt 2 didn't give us sunflowers yet again, so we had to play a bit more careful this time. I didn't want to let anything pass, so I got a row of kernel pots going, and it was working pretty well until the top row had some issues. But I simply just put a walnut down and let Bong Choi do the talking. It seems everything was resolved afterwards. Day 14 didn't let me go in the sun debt, so I had a budget of 1500. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't see that the first time around, and oh shoot, please die, please die, please die, please die. Please, 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 please. Wait. Oh wait, that's the objective? I didn't even see that, I'm not gonna lie. Luckily, I got mushrooms on the next attempt. It was kind of a cheese system, just spamming them all around, so that was interesting to say the least. Even got blowers for stupid jetpack zombies, so that was super lucky. Day 15 has protecting endangered citrons, and actually for some reason, this reminded me of the time... Why did I write this? What? Day 15 has protecting endangered citrons, and actually for some reason this reminded me of a time where I was eating like oranges at 4 AM and I shaped one of them like citron. I don't really know why I wrote this down or why I'm bringing this up now. I'm sure I can put a picture of it on the screen or something because I know for sure I sent it to someone. Anyway, day 15 was a breeze. Days 16 and 17 were both not randomized, so on to day 18 where I had to produce 6k sun. This did quite scare me at first when I saw it, but I just decided to do 4 rows of sun shoes and we ended up getting it done right on time during the final wave. Some might say I had a biblical level of greed, but personally I think it was justified. Day 19 was sun bombs, which I don't find to be super interesting to be honest. I mostly just use them to kill zombies and it just feels kind of lame at times, I don't know. I thought day 20 was gonna be a testing level for starfruit, but no, it ended up just being protected in dangerous starfruit, so that was fun I guess. I do personally like starfruit, they were one of my favorite plants back in PvZ 1, so I was very interested to see how much it would cost. And surprisingly, this was another level in which we got value from Coconut Cannon again, so that's hype. We also unlocked one of the most useful upgrades in the game in my opinion, which is mower launch. This upgrade basically just allows you to launch one lawnmower at any given time. It may sound really stupid, but think about it like this. Let's say there's a situation where it's like last wave and it's a protect endangered plants objective, and it's just like a huge lane of zombies that you couldn't kill. You can literally just mower launch and boom, done. It also helps save plants from being in if you know that lane is very clearly screwed. It's super useful, trust me. Day 21 had 2 objectives, which was raise 5k sun and don't have more than 16 plants. This was kind of annoying because I wanted to maintain 2 rows of sunflowers, but I also had to, you know, defend myself a little bit, so it was tricky. The setup and layout ended up just getting so cooked with random stuff everywhere, but once we hit that 5k goal, I just removed all the sunflowers and actually tried to survive. I was basically set on stun, so it was fine, honestly. And all I'm saying is, wow, did I get lucky with tall nuts. They prevented the massive wave of jetpack boys from getting through at the end, and everything went well. Right? Okay, I think we're good. I think we're good. I think we got it. Wait, there's no lawnmower here. Wait, what? How? Oh my, wait, what? Where did that, wait. Yeah, so, whoops, I saw I was missing a lawnmower just a little bit too late. It's alright, we try another attempt, and I don't really want to commentate over it, so boom, montage. And with that being done, we're basically at a point where this world is over. Day 22 was a planned defense, we somehow got in the first try with this abomination. Day 23 I thought was going to be super difficult by reading the objectives, but I anticlimactically did it with only cabbage plants and some magnifying grasses at the end. Day 24 was sun bombs, so nothing too interesting happening here in my opinion. Then of course day 25 was Zomboss. Overall, not too bad of a world yet again. After beating Zomboss, I noticed I had a ton of gems, so I entered the shop and without even thinking, I copped starfruit. It was super cheap, so you know, why not? And then I just saved the rest of my gems, at least for now. Unfortunately though, this is probably where the challenge starts to get, you know, a little bit less fun. As you can see here, the worlds we've left, I guess you can say, aren't too friendly given some of their mechanics. So the real suffering basically starts now with Canada. Oh shoot, I mean Frostbite Caves. My bad, they're basically always the same temperature. Sadly, I'm not too excited for Frostbite Caves here. The constant wind effect that randomly blows over the field and freezes my plants can really screw me over if I don't get lucky with plants. If I don't get some kind of like fire source or hot potato, it can really fall apart super fast. The plants that we unlocked here are hot potato, pepper pult, chard guard, stunyon, and rotobaga. These plants honestly aren't amazing in my opinion, they're like really good for this world, but not super much for others. Don't get me wrong though, they still definitely have their uses outside of this world, like even one of these plants hardcore carries us later in this challenge, but it's like super situational I feel like. So for that, I'll place it at the top of C tier. Now I usually skip the first few days here because they just aren't too interesting, but I just want to mention quickly that on day 2, it kind of hit me on how bad this world is going to be depending on my plants. Like I started getting stuff fully frozen already, and if I wasn't given hot potato for free, it could have already been a huge mess. The next few days didn't didn't have much wind or they were just conveyor levels, so we got very lucky. So starting up on day 6, you'll slowly start to notice that these worlds follow a theme of having a conveyor level for a new plant, the next level auto choosing the plant plus a bunch of other random stuff, then finally unlocking the plant. I don't know why it's organized like that, but it stays consistent for a lot of the later worlds. But hey, you know what? I'll take it in a challenge like this. So obviously day 6 was free since half the plants were literally chosen for us. I could beat it with what it just gave me easily. Day 7 was now a true test of how I can put up with the cold. The day was going fine until some wind started hitting more and more, and an idea popped in my head. Oh my god, okay, hold on, I'm just gonna remove the sunshroom for symmetry. Wait, they got rid of the ice. Wait. Can't I just like replace my plants to get rid of the ice? Isn't that like optimal to do? So yeah, my main strat literally just ended up being replacing plants if they has those little icicles at the bottom. It's stupid, but honestly, it does work, especially with the good sun source like twin sunflowers. It made it super affordable. But I know I'm not always gonna have that luxury, so we'll see if that keeps working out. After being day 7, I went into the shop to see if there's anything that could like help me out here, and I ended up just folding and buying jalapeno. Incoming clutch to kill a row of zombies or to just unfreeze a row if needed. So I thought it'd be a good idea. I was looking to buy fire pea shooters, but for some reason they get unlocked at the end of the world instead of the start. So that's quite useless. Day 8 was a conveyor level to show off hurricane. Not too bad of a plant to have, but I feel like there's just objectively better alternatives. Day 9 surprisingly had no wind effect on it at all, so it wasn't very hard to get past. Especially with the setup that I had, there was basically no getting past this. Day 10 was a conveyor level for charge guard, which means if the pattern does continue, the next level will have half of my plants chosen for me. And just like that, we were correct, like usual. But yeah, day 11 was not free, and now we have charge guard, which I'm personally quite a fan of. Day 12 was a plant defense, and I can't say we got very good plants the first time around, but the poor plants weren't even a problem. There was an unbelievable amount of wind in this level, like it's stupid. Even just right at the start, 2 rows were already frozen. I just let some lawnmowers go because it was basically my only way to unfreeze stuff, but even right when I let that happen, 3 more rows got frozen. Like, bro, what? I had nothing else to do. I just let all the lawnmowers break all the ice again. It also doesn't help that those hunter zombies was just pummeling my plants with ice, so that was great. But somehow, in the end, we did get the win. Honestly, I don't really know how. I got pretty lucky at the end with the butter as well, so I'm sorry for ever telling you. I don't think that was his name. I got pretty lucky at the end with butter, so I'm sorry for ever doubting you, Colonel Bolt. I loaded into day 13 and I was just sad from the start. Like, okay, it's a don't travel the flowers, that's already disappointing. But then I saw it was 4 ways and I was just starstruck, man. Knowing PvZ2 though, it wasn't gonna be that bad. Especially with the flowers all the way at the end. I don't know why it was so far back, but I am not complaining. I got a tad bit unlucky here with my pull. There was no sunflowers, which is still doable, but then I also got pretty expensive plants. So that's not really a great mix. I was able to hold off for a bit, but not for too long, unfortunately. Attempt 2 gave us 2 sun sources, so thank God for that. We even got potato mine at the start for stalling, so that's perfect. My only issue is that my main fire sources are kinda weak. Bloomerang isn't too bad, but Peapod just takes way too long for me to set up right now. I honestly just don't really have too much of an option, sadly. Oh, wait, I have coconut cannon? Wait, why am I even saving Peapods then? Screw this. Yeah, there we go. Okay, never mind. I don't know why I'm doing that. Yeah, honestly, I don't know how my brain just kind of cut it out, but I didn't see coconut cannon was in my loadout the whole time. I was saving a column behind my bloomerangs for a peapod setup, but I just let go of that plan and started placing cannons. I had some close calls for sure, especially with my plants freezing up quite often, but honestly, that's where coconut cannon helped me out even more. They literally just blow up everything, making stuff unfreeze basically instantly. I ended up just saving all my plant food for the last wave for the Gargantua, and right when I saw him, I just fully unloaded on him. Okay, I might want to reword that. And just like that, day 13 was complete. Day 14 was giving plants with some interesting choices, I guess. I honestly forgot how nice it was to have melting plants. It felt amazing to use again. Day 15, we had to protect endangered pepper plants, which was kind of nice. I can just spam stuff around them. I also got some crazy plants as well. All 3 good sun sources is like crazy work. Setup was going good. I had basically 2 columns of lightning reeds and some melon plants starting up in the front of the pepper plants, you know, to like keep them safe. My only issue was I saw these pressure plates just a little bit too late, and they fed right into my endangered plants. I tried to save them, but they were on both of them, so I just couldn't do that much. I was pretty mad that I sold that. I at least sat here instead of this ending screen for about like 5 minutes straight. I should not have lost that, especially with a setup that strong. But let's just hope I get something that good again. Okay, so it wasn't as good as last time, but it's still definitely strong. We still got sun source, and we got some super good defensive plants. Obviously, we still got some useless plants, but let's just ignore them for now. I went in with laser beams as my main fire source and tried to build a line of defense as soon as possible. My only problem this time now is, whoops, I forgot what world I'm playing. So everything that I had placed for defense was just rendered useless basically immediately. I still tried to hold off for as long as I can, and you can probably see me panicking very clearly here, but I couldn't hold off for long enough, unfortunately. It's alright though, attempt 3 will surely be the one. Wait, we got coconut cannons? Wait, this is the one. I'm locked in. I was actually so locked in for this attempt. I was carefully placing plants, saving all my resources, and hard defending my endangered friends. Can you tell them what really happened? Oh yeah, my bad, sorry. I just spammed pepper pulse and bok choys everywhere. There wasn't really a method to it, I just made sure the plants were protected first and then went crazy. Sort of anticlimactic, but hey, you know what? It got us the win, so we take those. Day 16 was finally the key level, and it was honestly so much more messy than I thought it would be. There was just so many of those stupid pressure plates, I was actually getting so mad, bro. But we got the key, and this was actually one of those times where I had to think long and hard of which world to unlock next. I called it a day and went to bed ready to finish Frostbite Caves tomorrow, as well as choose a new world. I was honestly up all night just thinking of where to go next, making pros and cons of like each world. But after brainstorming for so long, I think I made a decision on where to go next. But I won't reveal anything just yet, you'll see once we get there. Day 17 actually had such a stacked loadout for Frostbite Caves, I was like in shock when I got pulled. Alright, first roll of the day. Dude, what the heck is this? What the f— So obviously we floored it easily because holy shit. Day 18 and 19 was Stunning Showcase, so I'm just gonna skip these kind of levels from now on. Day 20 hit and yet again we got very lucky, I'd say. Good sun source, decent fire source, and hot potato. Absolute cinema, man. Yet again, after this level was finished, I realized we could do some more shopping. But this time, I wasn't eyeing a plant. I've been getting crazy value from the Moral Launch upgrade, so I thought, hey, why not just double it and pass it to myself? So I went ahead and just bought the second upgrade for it, then I just saved the rest of my money. Day 21 was a 5 pea shooter showcase conveyor thing, so it was fun for a bit, but this still isn't even the level where he gets unlocked in the shop. For some reason, it's like right at the end, which I personally think is a little bit silly, but maybe he is like too strong for this world, I don't know. Day 22 had frozen guacados, which I thought was pretty hype. I really liked them personally. Our plant pool for this level wasn't amazing. I had to sacrifice a few lawnmowers near the start, especially because of those weasels, but after that we were set up basically. Having mushrooms is always super nice to just spam around, especially when we don't have any sunflowers. Day 23, we had to protect endangered charge guards. They kind of protect themselves pretty easily, and we got some good plants, so this was a lot. I cannot express how much I hate those stupid weasels. Attempt 2 had no sun source, but I did have puff shrooms, so it was great to just like spam them around either for offense or defense, just like take hits. But somehow just seeing it now, I literally didn't even notice the frozen sunflowers. So once I got them unfrozen, I saved it for my melon poults while still stalling with puff shrooms. And after I got my first one down, it became so much easier. The slow effect is so good, plus their plant food effect and Gardendless is just like stupidly broken. I swear it literally just wipes the whole board. So finally we cleared that one. Day 24 we went to raise my sun, and I tried to rely on the good old coconut cannons. I don't like how that sounds. I tried to rely on coconut cannons and it didn't work out. They costed way too much and their cooldowns were way too slow for me to hold the fort down. It doesn't help that all my plants froze to death too, giving the zombies just a free pass to my house. Next attempt we got twin sunflowers again, thankfully, but I will say my Stratus level was definitely strange to say the least. My main damage sources were either really expensive or just really fucking bad. But there was one cheaper plant in my loadout that I didn't expect to be using, which was Spike Rock. Definitely not my first choice for like a main damage source, but hey man, Weeball. It was working surprisingly well for the start, but I clearly need something more. But it worked out perfectly since by this time I had enough sun for winter mounts and they were just stupid strong. Just like I said before, the melon plant food is stupid as hell. It hits literally everything and it kills everything. It's absurd. Day 25 and 26 was showcasing Rotobaga, although day 26 didn't choose all my plants this time, only Rotobaga. Funnily enough, I got given sunshrooms and there was already sunshrooms on the field, so I thought that was a funny coincidence. This level wasn't anything too crazy though, just used fume shrooms of Rotobagas for all of it and it worked out pretty well. Day 27 was protecting endangered Rotobagas already. I don't know how they got endangered so fast, I guess they got killed off pretty quickly or something, I don't know. Our first run at this wasn't the best. I mean, it was going good, I was holding off decently, well, despite not having sunflowers. My kernel bolts are doing good at slowing down the crowd. Bok choys was great for, you know, actually doing damage, especially with walnuts. We got very lucky there. But I basically lost all control once the third wave hit, and I couldn't do much against the Gargantua. I had already launched my middle lawnmower earlier, so I kind of just sold by doing that. Not to mention, all my plants were starting to freeze up. Plus, even if I managed to actually kill the Gargantua, I still had a full horde in every other lane, so it was just doomed to fail. Just by rolling the plants, attempt 2 was already looking better. A sun source, heat source, and protection? Sign me up. We were swimming in this one. Everything was flowing a lot better. The hordes of zombies were basically getting shredded. It's crazy what a sunflower can change in this economy, huh? Even when the time came for the Gargantua to pull up, I just used plant food and boom, hit all the evidence. But just like that, the day was complete, and that's basically Frostbite Caves done as well. Day 28 was plant defense and did it with this super creative setup. Day 29 was finally the fire pea shooter showcase and unlock, and finally day 30 was Zomboss. Overall, this world definitely had some annoying levels, but it made me think more and it was overall quite fun. Now back to my issue from earlier. Where the hell do I go next? I was thinking about it long and hard. Sleepless nights, 73 coffee cups later, too many pages written lit. Oh wait.
How many pages have I written?
Sorry, I'm sure like literally no one gets that. It came down to two choices. It was in between Big Wave Beach or Jurassic Marsh, and I decided to go with So yeah, I decided to go with Jurassic Marsh next. It was a tough call, but after bothering some friends and thinking it over, it just made more sense for me. The reason I was stuck in between these two worlds is because they each have plants that you really want to use in order to like make it easier. For Big Wave Beach, there's obviously lily pads which you need to even place stuff sometimes, but it can definitely still be done without it. As for Jurassic Marsh, there's perfume shrooms which can literally just win you the level most of the time, but yet again, it can be done without. The reason those are important is because Okay, how do I explain this? Basically, it's like the same situation with the sunflowers where I want less plants so I can pull the plants that I want more consistently. Therefore, whatever world I pick first here, it would make the other world harder, so I had to really think of where I like want to suffer more. I think it was a smart call going for Jurassic Marsh first since I can get primal sunflowers here and other strong primal plants, rather than if I did Big Wave Beach first and have some useless water plants. Okay, now that's out the way, the plants that can be unlocked here are Primal Pea Shooter, Primal Walnut, Perfume Shroom, Primal Sunflower, and Primal Potato Mine. There might be a theme here, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Honestly, all of these plants are unbelievably strong. Like we have a Pea Shooter with knockback, a Spammable Nuts, a Sunflower that gives 75 Sun, a Potato Mine on crack, and sure, Perfume Shroom becomes useless after this world, but it's still super strong for it, like game winning strong. So with all this being said, I'm proud to say that Jurassic Marsh will indeed be our first and only S tier world for plants. I don't think you can change my mind on that personally. But let's begin. Usually I skip past the first few levels here, but for this world I was losing lawnmowers left and right. Basically every day ended with nothing left, so I feel it's worth saying just a few words for each day. Day 1 I tried to have Lightning Reed take care of the first few zombies, but he was struggling to juggle between them and one got away. Other than that little screw up, nothing else really happened. The Primal Peas honestly just carried the rest of the day. Day 2 had our first sight of a dinosaur, which of course would be the raptor. It wasn't getting too out of hand just yet, just a few kicks here and there, and since I didn't have enough sun yet, I had to let some lawnmowers go. But we were doing fine once we got a Primal Pea in each row. Plus having the Fading Nut for the final wave was a lifesaver. Day 3 surprised me. It was a showcase for Grave Shop, which is cool, I love the plant. But beating the day unlocks Grave Shop in the shop, just as early as day 3. I proceeded to save up starting from that day as Grave Shop costed 40 gems, and I clearly did not have that. I got so insanely lucky with star fruits on day 4. I swear having this plant in a place where the zombies are getting thrown all around like this is perfect. It just hits all over the place and it's beautiful. I mean, sure we lost every single lawnmower at the end, but we also unlocked Primal Nut. So I see this as 2 wins personally. The main takeaway from day 5 was just it was a ton of puff shroom spam. Sure pepper bolts were also there, but honestly they didn't do that much. Day 6 was our first sight of the Stegosaurus, and as you can see, I didn't want to deal with him at all. Just tried to hold down the lawn with Primal Peas and let go of the lanes where I couldn't. Almost lost it near the end, but thank god we had jalapenos. Day 7 was Don't Trample the Flowers, which made me faint on sight, but then I realized it was a conveyor, so I was so relieved. It still wasn't that fun, but hey, you know what? At least we weren't forced to use some like cursed setup. Day 8 forced us to use Perfume Shroom, and I am not complaining. I literally didn't even need a setup. This plant is crazy strong. We did end up unlocking Perfume Shroom from this day, so that changes everything if we ever roll them. Day 9 was given plants with some amazing choices. The only not so amazing thing was the first sight of pterodactyls. Definitely not my favorite, but at least we had Perfume Shroom, so I didn't care. I just let him take the zombies away and then I'll mail them a postcard. Day 10 is where we finally stopped first trying every day. Day 10 had all 3 dinosaurs, and by looking at my first attempt loadout, you can probably see why I failed. I just couldn't do anything about zombies being pushed up that quickly. Attempt 2 gave us one of the best counters for dinos in my opinion, which of course would be Charred Guard. It's super nice to be able to play like back and forth with the dinos. It's especially helpful against the pterodactyls because the zombies literally can't do anything after. They just walk off and die. It was beautiful once I had a full back row of them. The setup did become a mess once it was done, but hey, you know what? That means it's done. That didn't really make too much sense. Day 11 was moving quite fast and I couldn't keep up with it. It started off okay, but then the first wave hit and spawned 2 pterodactyls which I could not defend. But it didn't matter in the end because the pterodactyls were actually doing me a favor. They proceeded to move every single zombie to the other side and they all walked off. I don't know why there was so many, but hey, I'm not gonna stop them. I just tried to hold my lawnmowers for as long as I can until the final wave. Then I fed the pepper pool some plant food which cleared up pretty good. My only issue now was the top row and there was nothing I could do. Second attempt gave us mushrooms, so you already know me spamming those everywhere. But somehow a huge carry for this level was Tallow Turnip. The fact that I was able to have 2 Lightning Reed collabs just going around killing everything was insane. I'm surprised we were able to get Tallow Turnips and Lightning Reeds down without any sunflowers. But I guess Sunbeam is just him. If only I wasn't missing him so much in Frostbite Caves. I didn't even lose a single lawnmower in that attempt either. Now day 12 was a tough one. Day 12 was one of those don't lose more than X plants levels, and in this case I can only lose 6. This is already one of my least favorite objectives, and on a world like this, it's gonna be hell. This was in fact another high attempt day, so if you want to skip past it, here's a timestamp to do so. But if not, first attempt was... dude, I don't even know how to describe the first attempt. I literally got destroyed. My main fire source was peanuts first of all, so you can probably tell how bad off I was on plants. Then the dinosaurs actually fried me so badly. Raptors kicked everything right to the end, Stegos spread out everything to my lanes with no lawnmowers, and the pterodactyl was just rage bait. I tried to clutch up at the end with a pepper pool plant food, but it was quite unlucky how they hit. So yeah, run was dead and I was worried because this day looked horrible. Attempt 2 already had a lawnmower gun and was trying to protect the lightning reed after like a raptor kick, but then the first wave hit and that exact same lane was attacked, so that's unlucky. Attempt 3 had actually a really good start, but it's always the same row with the same bucket head and the same stupid raptor kicking him forward. I managed to actually get huge spring bean value for a bit and I was holding off quite well, but then the last wave hit and it fell apart. For some reason, they throw Gargantua right before the last wave, and then on the last wave, they throw another one. So once the second one showed up, he just smashed everything to pieces. I now have to try to save a lawnmower just for both of them near the end. Attempt 4 I literally had no hope for, and yeah, I don't have much else to say. It was a mess. Attempt 5 was going smoothly, the setup was clean and protected, no lawnmowers were gone quickly, and then the last wave hit. I wasn't able to save a lawnmower for the final wave gargantuar. I had both top and bottom side getting rushed, and there was nothing I could do. Attempt 6 just died so fast. I'm noticing it dies really quick without sunflowers, which is understandable. And hey, speaking of no sunflowers, attempt 7 not only had no sunflowers, but citron is my main fire source, so obviously that went amazing. Attempt 8 was nothing special. I held off for a bit with peanuts, but it's always the same exact lane with the bucket heads. I can't, man, I can't do it. Attempt 9 was an attempt that made it to the final wave, but I only had kernel pulls down, so I was kind of screwed when I got to the end. It didn't last long after it hit. Attempt 10, we finally got primal peas, but not like it mattered. I also don't know why I placed them one column up. I think it was to protect from pterodactyls, but it made it so much worse. Last wave hit and I got overrun so fast, it wasn't even close. Attempt 11 had corn, and yeah, that's it. Attempt 12 was definitely an interesting pull of plants, and it was kind of working for a bit, but the key word there is it was working for a bit. It did not keep that up for very long, sadly. Attempt 13 gave me charge guards, so now it made sense to place plants one column up. It was definitely a good idea, but you know, I also had to worry about actually killing the zombies ahead of me, and that part I couldn't do. Attempt 14 gave me primal peas again, and it was pretty close, but yet again, those dirty gargantuars got to me again. Attempt 15 had us using twin sunflowers and magnifying grass, so I didn't really have hope for it. I've never been a fan of magnifying grass, I don't know why, so my hopes honestly weren't super high. Oh, I guess I was wrong. So we were finally able to do it with only taking 15 attempts. I never want to do that again, so hopefully we don't have another hard level in this world. Day 13 was proof of how easy perfume shroom makes Jurassic Marsh. My first attempt, I got cooked, whatever. Second attempt, I had perfume shroom with only puff shrooms as a fire source, but it didn't matter. The dinosaurs quite literally just killed everything, especially the stegosaurs. They're demons, I swear to god. I ended up not even losing a single lawnmower. I think they made quite a difference here, I don't know. Day 14 was given plants, so skipping over that, although it was fun to use grape shot. Day 15 was protecting endangered primal nuts, and I wasn't really worried for it. Whenever the endangered plant is walnuts, I always just plant for them if I get it, because it's just optimal, no? It makes it so much easier. I don't know, I might be weird for that, but I always do it. Anyways, this level wasn't anything. Even in the last wave when they spawned in Gargantuar, it wasn't even on the rows with endangered plants, so nothing to worry about. Day 16 was the key level, and finally, this is the first key level that gave me a little bit of trouble. And mostly because the RNG on the conveyor was just so terrible. Dude, what is wrong with this conveyor? But stop, give me something! I just need, okay, thank you. I need something else again. No, it's over. Dude, oh, now you give me a picture. Thank you, man, thanks. Dude, oh my god, what's wrong with this conveyor? It's like stupid or something. We eventually got it once we got actual plants, but I feel like this level was like bugged or something. Sometimes the conveyor just doesn't give stuff, and also there's like 9 million raptors. Like that can't be on purpose. I can't even see what color the ground is anymore. It's literally just dinos, like holy shit. We ended up beating it, so it's fine, but that can't be normal. Day 17 forced us to use primal sunflowers as the next level would award us with them, so it wasn't very hard. Plus we got super lucky and pulled perfume shrooms, so it was stupidly easy. And now we got another sun source, and a really good one at that. Arguably, maybe the best one. Day 18 had our first introduction to the T-Rex. You would think he'd be like the most lethal one, but in my humble opinion, he's like the easiest one to deal with. Maybe I'm crazy to say that, but I don't really worry too much about them. The level itself did actually end up being pretty chaotic though. Lots of stuff happening constantly and lots of different dinos. We did end up beating it, but man, that was messy. Day 19 was Don't Trip on Flowers, which really scared me at first, but then I realized it was a Cold Snapdragon showcase, so that was a huge relief. This level did unlock Cold Snapdragon in the shop for us actually, and he is also one I want to buy. Super good plant to have, but I want Grape Shot first still. Honestly, I don't want to waste time here. The next 5 levels were nothing super stressful. Day 20 was Raging Sun, and we got Primal Sunflowers, so that made it super easy. Day 21 was just a normal level, but the legendary combo of Twin Sunflowers plus Magnifying Grass appeared again, so it was a sweep. Day 22 was Plant Defense with an actual decent setup. Like, I'm surprised we got this good of a pull. Day 23 gave us stupid good plants again, and we unlocked Primal Potato Mine as well, which is super good. Day 24, if you thought the combo of Twin Sunflowers plus Magnifying Grass was good, try Twin Sunflowers, Magnifying Grass, and Primal Sunflower. It was still a bit messy because of how many dinos there were, but holy, it was doing so good. Kind of got overrun at the end, but we just don't look at that. We beat the level, and that's all that matters. Right now, I was in a flow. I was getting lucky with plants, getting lucky with zombies, and getting pretty lucky with the dinosaurs. I can't imagine day 25 brings something different all of a sudden to throw me off. Oh no. Not you. On day 25, the infamous Ankylosaurus made its debut. Now, this is probably the worst of the worst in my opinion. Ankylosaurus is definitely the one I hate the most. It's fine though, we had a really good setup, so surely we won't be here for long, right? Oh my god, I hate these dinos, bro. I'm screwed. No, this time's over. Dude, this was definitely the run. I had such good plans. Maybe I can... No, it's too late. Dude, he literally died. What? Okay, this game sucks. Yeah, I'm gonna be here for a while. Looks like we're gonna do another one of those attempt runs, huh? As always, here's a timestamp to skip. But man, 2 of these type of levels in the same world is not a great look for me. But here goes nothing. Attempt 2 was far worse than the first attempt. To be fair, I didn't have any sunflowers, so I couldn't keep up with the zombies being pushed forward so quickly. I had to find a way to deal with that and fast. Attempt 3 gave me such expensive stuff, I didn't even want to try it. It was over before I even started with this one. I tried to salvage it with magnifying glass, but you need a sun source with them. It's so bad without. Attempt 4 wasn't horrible since we had mushrooms, but we lost the lawnmower so quickly, and this guy just zoomed across in a blink of an eye. It was over before I knew it. Attempt 5 actually looked promising plant-wise, if only my fire source wasn't default pea shooters. But I messed it up anyway. I let one lawnmower go to buy time, you know, just thinking it was fine. It was still going alright. I was dealing with this stupid Ankylosaurus placing walnuts, you know how it is. Then I placed a potato mine here in hopes to kill all these zombies, but it seems I mistimed it and it got eaten. So yeah, I threw it basically immediately. Attempt 6 was only pea shooters. Yeah, I have nothing else to say. Attempt 7 we got sunflowers again, but with the same issue as before, our fire source is quite garbage. Plus it doesn't help I got like 3 useless plants. Attempt 8, I don't even want to explain this one. Attempt 9, I tried going with magnifying grasses without sunflowers again, and I don't know why. It very clearly doesn't work. Okay, enough messing around. Attempt 10, I went in with a new strat. What if I just start spamming stuff to eat the push from the Ankylosaurus and just try to protect my main damage sources for as long as possible? Whether it's by physically protecting them, or it's by using insta-kills to guarantee their survival. Just by keeping this up, we were able to make it to the last wave with all 5 lawnmowers. I just let them all go because I was so happy to be done with this level. Honestly, after this level though, I could finally relax in this world a bit. Day 26 was just mold colony, day 27 was plant defense, day 28 was nothing special. We got a crazy setup though. Day 29 gave us only 3 plants, so that was interesting. Day 30 yet again gave us a crazy setup, so we cleared it. Day 31 was given plants with some fantastic choices, and finally, of course, day 32 was a boss fight. Definitely one of my favorite bosses as well. But with that, we are fully complete with this world. It wasn't the worst thing in the world, it was a lot more just getting stuck on certain levels rather than being frustrated at like the entire world. Once I was done fighting the boss, I bought some gems and bought the 2 plants I wanted from this world. Those being Grape Shot and Cold Snapdragon. Extremely good plants to have, as I hope I've said before. But like I did say at the start, it was either between this world and Big Red Beach. So if you do some simple subtraction, that means we're heading to the beach next. Bring your sunscreen because I know we're gonna get cooked. Big Red Beach, quite possibly one of, if not my least favorite world. I had some love for Jurassic Marsh due to my obsession with dinosaurs when I was younger, and I have at least some kind of connection to every other world. They all hold a special place in my heart. But do you know what I remember about Big Red Beach? I remember it being the only world I was stuck on, and I remember it crashing out. That's it. Nothing positive about it at all. I even hate beaches normally, so I was doomed to fail from the start. But enough about my beach hate. The plants that we unlocked here are lily pad, tango kelp, bowling bulbs, guacadile, banana launcher, and surprisingly, sea shroom. Mostly these plants are only good for this world, but of course that doesn't apply to all of them. So I'll throw in the bottom of C tier. Also, I don't know why sea shrooms get unlocked so late into this world. Am I crazy for thinking that? I feel like they should be like way earlier and you know, not like the final level of the world. But let's go ahead and swim over to our first few levels. Starting with day 1. Wait, what? We already lost on day 1? Hey, personally, I'm gonna blame it on the setup here. There was not too many good plants for me to use without sun, and the default pea shooters could not keep up. So in my opinion, it's all their fault. Hey, I'm pretty sure it's just a skill issue. Shh. No one has to know about that. It's fine though, we just rolled plants again, and we were super fortunate to already get primal sunflowers. If I somehow messed up with them, I would just already delete this channel. Thankfully, we did do it, and we even had coconut as a fire source, so that was fun. Now in day 2, do you guys remember what I said in Frostbite Caves? Don't get me wrong though, they still definitely have their uses outside of this world. Like even one of these plants hardcore carries us later in this challenge. But it's like super situational, I feel like. Well, now is that time. Give a warm welcome back to Rotobaga. I literally had no idea that they float over water. It was seriously a game changer for this world. Maybe not so much for this level, sure, but it does come in clutch for later levels, trust me. Giving forward some more levels because they were either just conveyors or my plants were crazy. But now day 7 frightened me. The fact that they give me levels that have no land and just water is a terrifying realization. I obviously can't always choose lily pads, so I just have to rely on what random ones I get on the level. In this case, we luckily still got one in each row, and they were quite far back as well. Basically, my plan was to grind out sun while the tide was still low and only place damaging plants on lily pads. Once the tide rises, I just hope I have enough sun to hold me. I don't try to place any more sunflowers or really do anything. First time around, it almost worked out, but I fell short right at the end, sadly. Second attempt went a lot better. I planted and grinded out way more sunflowers before the tide came in fully, so that was definitely the play. Plus, the cold snapdragons helped with the hordes so much better. Definitely was a game-changing plant for this stage. Day 8 was bowling, so that was a nice change of pace for this world. Day 9 was already another level where we had no space on land to place stuff, except this time it's worse because 2 lanes are fully unusable due to mold colony. So now the lily pads and actually just all my plants will be pushed forward. At least this time around, we have 2 lily pads in almost every row, so sure we got less room, but we also got more space to place. That doesn't really sound right, but I don't know how else to word it. My first attempt at this got some pretty unfortunate plants. If only I had a sun source, then I could consistently just use rutabagas for this level, but sadly I didn't and it showed. My next attempt at this consisted of kernel bolts and walnuts, and to be completely honest, I had zero faith in this working. But it held up for longer than I thought, so credit is due where it's deserved. Obviously it did end up failing in the end, but just the plant choice wasn't amazing, and it definitely isn't anything to do with my capabilities as a player. Attempt 3 didn't look promising either, with my fire sources either being weak, too expensive, or just straight up unusable in water. It wasn't looking very good. Only thing we had to look forward to was our insta-kill potential. Having Grape Shot and Squash is huge here, so I took advantage of that. Obviously the main strat for levels like this is to stall for as long as possible to let the last wave just die on lawnmowers. I was able to hold off for around 3 waves before having to resort to lawnmowers in the end. But now is when Project Insta-kill comes into effect. Okay, sorry to interrupt, it's editing floops here. I was supposed to make like a montage for this part, but watching back the footage, it's just pretty boring. Like all I did was just place 7 insta-kills and killed the zombies. I just can't do anything with that. Plus, this video is finally almost done after like 3 months and I'm tired as hell. So just pretend something really cool happens here. Yeah, so somehow we ended up clearing the level thanks to Grape Shot, Squash, and of course mushrooms. Oh, and I guess peanuts were there too. Yeah, sure. But it felt so good to beat that level. Only issue is I know there was far worse levels later into this world. But we'll just worry about those when we get to them. As for right now, it's time to go bowling. Sort of. It's not another bowling level, but it is time for a bowling bulb showcase thingy. And just like in previous worlds, it keeps up the theme of having a conveyor with the plant, then a level where it picks basically everything with the new plant, which results in you unlocking it. So that was a nice break at least, and we did get a fun plant from it, so we'll take it. Day 12 was another plant defense, in which we had some of my favorite plants participate in. So yet again, another nice break where my plants did all the work, and I just sat down in the sand watching. Day 13 was definitely an interesting day, to say the least. I think I'll just let my live reaction explain why. Oh, objective, 2000 sun, okay, that's not too bad. Wait. Why do we have nowhere to place anything? This is not gonna be fun. So yeah, on top of having those 2 objectives, we basically had no way to put out sunflowers to even meet those set objectives. Thankfully, it was a never have more than X plants objective rather than don't lose X plants, because I probably would have quit this challenge if so. Thankfully, we are guaranteed a sun source for these levels, but I'm gonna have to do some crazy juggling of plants if I want this to work. By that, I mean my plan was to just place sunflowers in every lily pad, then remove them when a zombie comes down the appropriate lane. It wasn't gonna be very fun, and it wasn't very well executed sadly in the first attempt. Most of that does come from pepper bolts having a crazy cooldown though, so it just wasn't the most optimal plant to get. We made it to the last wave, but looking at my situation here, you can probably tell what happens next. The next attempt went a lot better. Yet again got catapults, which makes dealing with those stupid scuba zombies so much easier, and this time it didn't have a massive cooldown. We kept the same strat with juggling and shuffling the plants around to maximize sun production first. The fact that we twin sunflowers this time instead was so much better. No waiting for sun shrooms to grow or anything, just consistent 100 sun every time. So we hit the goal quite fast with that. And honestly, once we hit it, I just spammed down winter melons, and we seen how strong they can be, so it was quite easy after that. Day 14 was given plants with Chamber, which can I say how much nicer it is that Chamber can shoot 2 zombies at once in this game? It's honestly amazing. It helps out so much. It makes Chamber actually worth using in my opinion. I actually decided to stop here and try to unlock Ghost Pepper as it is a beloved plant of mine. I beat the entrance level to the rifts just barely and the first level pretty easily actually. But then I learned to a second level and realized what it was and immediately just backed out. It's just not worth my time. I absolutely hate doing those. I already left Wild West a while ago. I have no intention to relive it. But going back to the days, day 15 made me so unbelievably mad. First of all, it was a protecting endangered potato mines. Like, okay, that's just stupid as hell. Then it put them right on the shoreline. Like, have we ever heard of like a moat or something? The sitting floop over there just did it so easily for his castle. Why not just build one here? Then on top of all this level being not so fun already, I had the most perfect setup and I blew it right at the end. I was beyond mad, man. I should have just sent a lawnmower, but it was in the moment and I panicked bad. Now, every other time I failed this level, it just made me more mad because I could have had it so easily. Thankfully, we were given a redemption on the 5th attempt with magnifying grass. I had twin sunflowers being spammed everywhere and an emergency winter melon in the back for when it got close. If things went to shit, I would just plant food the good old melon and basically everything would die. So at least that was satisfying to see the world burn. Or I guess in this case, freeze, am I right? But thankfully we were done, and now onto day 16, the infamous key level. For day 16, according to my trusty script, it says I placed a few bowling gloves in one level, so I hope that matches with whatever's on screen because I'm too lazy to go back and check. Day 17 was our first sight of the most loving and caring zombie, the Octo Zombie. Such a nice fellow protecting our plants from being eaten. What a great guy, am I right? Yeah, don't worry, I hate him too. Thankfully, we got lightning reeds, which can be a good counter if too many plants get occupied. But we thankfully did not need to deal with that too much in this day. I can only imagine how much worse it's gonna get in later levels though. I decided to take a quick break here and see how much Chomper would cost. Right when I loaded in, I saw that he was only 20 gems, I decided to pick him up. He's gonna look amazing in my front lawn. Day 18 and 19 was Guacadile showcasing time, and I love me some Guacadiles. The fact that they can act as almost secondary lawnmowers going through the lane destroying everything is actually so cool. I love that mechanic so much, so unlocking him was a big day for me. Day 20 was similar to past levels where we would normally have nowhere to place anything, but this time around we at least got one free lane at the end. So obviously I kept my sun source at the back while using lightning reeds as my main fire source on the lily pads. But already right at the start an imp made it past, not really sure how, then I realized something. Dude, I might just let the lawnmower go honestly. Actually wait, I have rotobagas? Dude, I'm gonna start spamming these around, you kidding me? I didn't even see that. Somehow, I didn't even notice that the roto bag was selected while picking my plants, and once I realized that, it was over. As you can see, I just started spamming them around because honestly, why not, man? It was actually working so well, and I saw lightning reeds killing the big grouped up zombies, so hey, if it works, it works. Day 21 was a showcase for homing thistle, and now, okay, I need y'all's opinion on this. Is homing thistle a bad plant? Because I have a friend that like really despises them, he like really hates them, but then I love using them, so I don't know. Let me know what y'all think, because I'm all for it. Especially as plant food, it literally just clears the whole board sometimes. Anyways, moving on. Day 22 introduced quite possibly the most terrifying and obnoxious zombie ever, the fisherman zombie guy. I don't know his name. Oh wait, look at that, I got it right. The hatred I have for this zombie is unbelievable. I swear he just screws up everything every single time. Like, it's so annoying. And it's especially bad now since I don't have lily pads to protect my plants, so if he gets a hold of one, it's wraps. He can just drag my plants into the water and they never got swimming lessons, so it's over. I tried my gosh darn best to protect the plants from either spamming stuff in front of them or just straight up killing the fisherman right away. It was working for a bit, but key word there is for a bit. We unfortunately couldn't hold out for long enough and we lost it right on the final wave. My next attempt at this, I want to try my same strategy of blocking and killing, but I want to focus more on the blocking part. And with twin sunflowers, it made it very easy. I was originally going to wait to afford walnuts, but why do that when you can just use twin sunflowers as a wall instead? Plus, it helps with my magnifying grass, so I see this as a win-win. This attempt was a win, but to be fair, my plant build was kind of insane. Getting magnifying grass with twin sunflowers was crazy, and on top of it all off, we got roto baggers as well. It didn't even matter if those got pulled because they would just float either way, so it was kind of hard to lose with that. I made another stop here to try and unlock parsnip, but after beating the entrance level, I decided to go back and not unlock him. I don't really know why I didn't commit. I didn't say anything, I literally just sat here in silence for like 5 minutes straight. So I have no clue what made me change my mind. I probably just thought it was a waste of time, I guess. Day 23, we had to protect some bananas, and this day took me a few attempts to get past. It was just a bad mix of me getting not so amazing plants, the fact that we only had 3 lanes to work with, and those stupid fishermen zombies. Sorry, I got carried away there. My first attempt at this wasn't too bad, and I will say it was kind of funny how I lost it. I placed a squash here to kill the gargantuar, but at the same time, the fisherman zombie was getting ready to reel, so since the squash was in front, the endangered banana just went flying forward. Normally they're supposed to just get moved up a spot if there's a plant in front, but honestly, I don't know what happened here. At least the next attempt at this was going good. Somehow managing everything with no sunflowers, I guess it does help having 3 pre-placed banana launches though, huh? There was so many close calls during this attempt, just barely living by the skin of my teeth. But in the end, those stupid fisherman zombies that I hate just kept reeling in the bananas until they met the demise to the tide. It's okay though, no worries. I rolled my plans for the next attempt and... Holy shit. Okay, if we lose to this, we're actually just bad. And thankfully, I was correct. There was really no way I could lose with that. Having that good of a sun source paired with the slaughter of cold snapdragon and roto baggers, it was so nice. Day 24 was bowling again. I did actually almost lose it right at the end, but we got blessed up with an electric bulb, so thank God for that, because I did not want to have to do that again. I'm sorry, just walnut bowling is better. I'm sorry. Day 25 was sadly another tough one. I couldn't spend more than 3k sun, and I had to kill 10 zombies within 5 seconds. So I was hoping for some kind of insta-kill, or at least a plant with a really strong plant food. There was more than a few attempts of the day, so just like normal, I'm gonna go through all of them quickly, just so you can see what went wrong. Like always, here's a timestamp for the final attempt. Attempt 1 didn't give us an insta-kill. We did get cold snapdragon, so it was still doable. Unfortunately, I got overrun by octopus and fisherman zombies. Then after I thought it couldn't get worse, I forgot that I couldn't spend sun, which ended up being my demise. Attempt 2 gave us roto baga, so I thought it would go well, but I just could not kill those damn fisherman zombies with only them. Plus, everything was getting occupied to the point where I had nothing left on the field. Attempt 3 had primal piece, and they could simply not hold it down by themselves. I definitely don't blame them though. If I go to the beach and see this, I'm not gonna be happy either. Attempt 4 had a weird mix of plants, but ultimately, it wasn't enough. Even with the melon pulp plant food, it was helping clear the board, but then what? Everything was unusable and I couldn't afford to place much else. Attempt 5 was looking promising. The lightning reeds were getting rid of the octopi fast. I had cherry bombs to deal with the big groups of zombies, and I had roto bags for either shields or just as more damage. But it's that damn low tide every single time. The low tide right before the final wave spawns Gargantuar and like 4 octo zombies. I couldn't even just cherry bomb them because I only had 50 sun left to spend, so it was just over. I got fully overrun. Attempt 6 was so close. I made it to the final wave with just lightning reeds and grape shot, but yet again I couldn't do anything at the end. I had no sun since I had no sunflowers, so it's just unfortunate. Attempt 7 was actually looking good now. My plan for this one was just to get down a few winter melons and plant for them the second I saw fisherman zombies pop up. I had to protect the winter melons the best that I could. It didn't matter if they got octopus thrown at them, as long as they weren't dragged into the ocean, it's fine. I made it really far in with this. All I had to do now is watch out for that low tide right before the final wave, and once it hit, I just tried to stall it for as long as possible. Then once the final wave hit, I was free. Last lane without lawnmowers was taken care of, so I just sat back and relaxed and watched everything die out. Huge shout out to Stunyon for letting me be able to stall the Gargantuar in time for the final wave. That was actually a huge help. But finally we were done. That wasn't very fun at all. Honestly, from here out, I thought I was safe for the rest of the world. Day 26 and 27 were just showcasing banana launcher finally, and I thought I was gonna be good, but I had no idea what day 28 would bring. Right when I loaded in and saw the objective of don't lose more than 5 plants, I literally just didn't move. We already know how bad this objective is, but it sucks now even more for like multiple factors. Between losing pre-placed lily pads counting as losing plants, or literally just this zombie, I don't know what's worse. All I know is that from this first attempt, I would be here for a while. Now I'm gonna go through and say some quick things for each attempt just like usual. If you want to skip past it, here's a timestamp to do so, but if not, let's get started. Attempt 1 was basically already doomed to fail if bowling bloods was my main fire source sitting at the back. Without sunflowers, I couldn't afford much else. I tried to send lawnmowers to protect them, which was working at first, but I basically lost my last 4 plants in a span of, I don't know, maybe 15 seconds. So that's a great look for me. Attempt 2 already made me realize how annoying it's gonna be to lose those pre-placed lily pads. They literally get eaten first in like 90% of my runs. It's super frustrating. Surprisingly, this attempt wasn't even half bad with only cabbage bolts. If only I was able to get down the winter melon earlier, it could have definitely been better, but it still helped out a bit nonetheless. This run ended up dying due to me setting this lawnmower off a little bit too early to deal with the fisherman zombies, because then that same lane got jumped and I couldn't do anything about it. Attempt 3 had primal peas, and honestly that's probably the most interesting part. At least I made it to the party, but this was a bad time to show up. Attempt 4 gave me lots of peach shooters for some reason, but ultimately it failed because I couldn't deal with those fisherman zombies. I would have loved to grape shot them, but that's simply not an option for obvious reasons. Attempt 5 was looking pretty good with lightning reads. Like we made it through halfway of the first wave without even losing a single plant yet. But right when that damn low tide hit, holy, everything fell apart so fast. It literally died within seconds of happening. Attempt 6, I just let everything go at the start so that I can get a winter melon down. Honestly, I don't really know why that was my plan, but you still have to go insane with this many attempts in a row with no sun sources in sight. Attempt 7 actually did give us lily pads for once. Not like it mattered anyway, because we got hella overrun, so why does that even matter? Why? Sign up. With intent 8, I wanted to buy time with other plants to get down winter melons. Also, can we talk about the fact I've gotten winter melons 3 times and not one single sunflower? Can someone please do the math on that? It doesn't make any sense. But the run died on low tide again. It's just super overwhelming having that many zombies pop up. I can't do much sadly. Especially with no sun, it's tough to counter it. Attempt 9, what? Oh my days. Do my eyes deceive me? Is that a sunflower? Finally? Okay, let's lock in this attempt. Oh my god, it spawned so many. Okay, I think it's worth grape shotting here. I think. No, I kind of wish I killed the Gargantua. Can I protect? No, dude. No. Oh my god, dude. Ah! You can probably tell from how distraught I was that this was our closest attempt. I was honestly so disappointed. I wanted to get off after that, but I still ran one more attempt. And right after I picked my first 2 plants and realized what I've gotten, suddenly, all my motivation was back. Attempt 10 gave us Infinity Nut, which if you don't know, completely counters both Octo Zombies and Fisherman Zombies, as their projectiles just bounce right off. Pair that with Sunflower and it's hopefully unlosable. Only part that sucks is my main damage source was only close range, so it's definitely a little bit scary going in. But it didn't even matter, the sheer strength of the defense from Infinity Nut plant food was so crazy, I wasn't even worried. For once, the low tide hit and I wasn't panicking. I was fully relaxed, and with that we made it right to the end and finished off this hell of a day. Even celebrated with a nice little grape shot at the end. I was so happy that I finished the level, I went ahead and just finished the rest of the world. Day 29 was playing defense. We threw the first attempt sadly right at the end, but attempt 2 only had coconut cannons, which somehow didn't work. I don't know why I thought it would. It's alright, attempt 3 still had cannons doing the heavy lifting, just needs some help from rotor baggers. But it's alright, nothing to be ashamed of there. Day 30 had us protected in dangerous guacadows, which had me terrified at first, I won't lie. It gave me day 15 PTSD, I did not want to live through that again. Thankfully my nerves calmed down immediately once I saw my plants. I could straight up use all 8 of these plants for something. I just spammed the living hell of the sun sources and let the magnifying glass do all the heavy lifting. I'm so thankful we got this good of a setup, especially with lily pads, it's crazy lucky. And to end it up, day 31 was a fun little showcase with my beloved homing thistle, so that was fantastic. Then day 32 was of course Zomboss. Really cool boss fight, but yet again I fear it's like bugged or something because the zombie spawn is so messed up. It's like constantly 100 on screen, but we still did it, so I don't care. But finally we are done with this world. Oh my god, that was hell. Never again, please. I don't even want to do like an overall take right now. Please let's just move on to something much more calming. Okay, this is a lot better now. Now, I got some friends that absolutely hate this world, and like, okay, I get it. There's definitely some annoying zombies, but I don't know, personally, I love it so much. I'm just a huge fan of music in general, so I just love the vibe and like aesthetic of this world. Call me crazy, but I love it. The plants that can be unlocked here are Fat Beet, Celery Stalker, Thymewarp, Garlic, Spore Shroom, and Intensive Carrot. This will put Neon Mixtape Tour at around B tier. Some really good plants, but weighed down by some mediocre and not so great plants. But nonetheless, it is about time to begin. As you should know by now, I'm gonna skip past the first few levels here and start up a little bit further in this time, starting all the way up on day 13. I don't know why there's just so many damn conveyor and given plant levels. Like, here's a whole catalog of days. Just look through, I swear there's so much filler, I don't know why. So by day 13 here, we've now unlocked Fat Beet, Celery Stalker, and Thymewarp. Overall, really good plants, I like all of these. And now day 13 was a plant defense type level, and what? Oh no. Why didn't an attempt counter just slide in? Well, starting off strong, I guess. I'm not gonna waste your time, you know the drill. Here are all the attempts, here's a timestamp to skip to the last one, and here we go once more. My first go at it, I just kept it super simple and used plants that can hit through multiple zombies, since I know for a fact those rollerblade zombies are gonna build up like crazy. And I was exactly right. I got completely overrun and it was way faster than I thought it would be. Next wave came in and it's like I just handed my brains on a silver platter. There was literally nothing left. Second attempt this, I tried to build up some kind of defense, but that went out the window so quickly. I thought for sure it'd go better since lightning reeds can hit many targets at once, but nope, didn't really help me like at all. Attempt 3 gave me lightning reeds again, so I just said screw it and went full force. Just full on only lightning reeds, and so far this is my best attempt. For once, we weren't dying instantly and we were actually making progress, but all good things must come to an end, and a picture is worth 1,000 words. Attempt 4, I don't know why I thought this would work like in the slightest. You had to get another free platter of brains, man. I might as well open a buffet at this point. Attempt 5 was only primal peas. That's it. Attempt 6, I tried to get a little crafty with it, but I ended up just going with 2 columns of boomerangs and a column of nuts. Honestly, I was better off probably just not placing anything. This was bad. Attempt 7 was definitely a setup, that's for sure. The main hope here was obviously cold snapdragons, because those default features ain't gonna do anything. Once the snapdragons died, I just let go of my keyboard and let it happen. Attempt 8 had a different setup, so I'll give it points for that, but it failed, and it failed hard. I just got bored while the zombies were destroying my entire lawn. I started to just edge the lawnmowers. I don't care how that sounds, I was just losing my mind, man. I know, that's it. I'm tired of this. I've had to sit here and suffer listening to the same pre-made zombie altered music. It's my turn now. For attempt 9, I got my own kind of music going and I was locked in. I noticed I had a lot of frozen plants, so I went ahead and just did what I could with them. Just 2 winter melons and a column of cold snapdragons. And you know what? They surprised me. Somehow just these plants and their sun was enough to push us through. Maybe the winter melon plant had something to do with it, but we don't talk about that. So yes, we finally did it in the end. I honestly don't know why it took us so long to do. I don't know if it was just unlucky with plants or just a massive skill issue, but either way, we're done. Thankfully, the next 2 levels were not nearly as bad as well. Day 14 was a fun cactus showcase, which was nice. I really like the cactus mechanic in this game. I think it's a lot better than the first. Then day 15 was protecting fat beasts, which like usual had me a bit worried, but after seeing my plants, the nerves just left my body completely. Primal sunflower and winter melon? Yeah, GG's bro. I actually like feel bad for the zombies, just a bit. As we finish day 15 and low into day 16, I want to mention something I forgot to mention earlier while doing this challenge. Gardendless did in fact receive an update which added Crazy Dave, Penny, and Zombots, so it's nice to see them back finally. But if all 3 of them are here arguing, that means day 16 is probably the key level. No worries though, like I said in Egypt, these key levels are never something to worry about. Let's just not count Jurassic Marsh for now though, because I have no clue what that was. The plant choice was definitely a bit interesting for this one though, I will say. Like it's normal sometimes to see plants from other worlds, sure, but Kernel Pole and Stalia? That's like a really random pull, I don't know. Still wasn't too hard to get past though, just got a little bit annoyed at the shockwave from the Gargantuars and those stupid mic zombies. But I feel like that's pretty normal to get annoyed at those 2. Day 17 was our first sight of the backup dancer, and it's not too big of a deal. Yeah, he can be annoying at times, but it's not the end of the world. We still ended up losing this day though because I just didn't have incredible plants, and same with the second attempt. I was somehow using guacadeles for both attempts. I definitely had better plants in the second attempt though, I just could not afford any of them without sunflowers. Don't worry though, attempt 3 got us with mushrooms, corn, and insta-kills. I feel like I was so close to dying so many times during this attempt, but I just placed grape shot then I win. Seems pretty fair to me. We did unlock garlic from this day, and I don't know, I've never been a fan. I guess you could make like a whole build around it, and it could be good when paired with like fat beat to force zombies to get around them, but I don't know, I feel like it's just so much work, and for how fast PvZ2 plays, like I don't know, it's just not worth it. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I can't even choose my own plants here, so I don't know why I'm complaining. Day 18 giving guacadeles yet again, which normally I'd be starting to get a little bit annoyed at, but we actually got sunflowers for once, so I was happy to use them again. There wasn't anything too interesting this day, no new zombie type or objective or anything. It was just a basic level, which is always a nice change of pace. Day 19 was a showcase conveyor thing for electric blueberry, which is a nice plant to have. I wouldn't mind buying them if they don't cost much. Being able to just one-shot Gargantuars is actually just like stupid. Day 20 was another basic day, plus we got sunflowers, so nothing crazy. It was fun to see all the stars shoot everywhere though, so that's something. Day 21 was my favorite objective once again. Don't trample the stupid flowers, but it's fine. We rolled an actual good sunsource, so I'm sure we'll be okay. Bro, there's 2 breakdancers? Oh my god, they're like pushing each other. What just happened? What? Wait, what? Wait. Looking back at it now, I can actually see what happened. Basically, the guacadao just didn't kill the Conan. I completely missed that. So he just got sent back a bit, and that's it. He just kept continuing like nothing happened, and he trampled right over all those flowers. The next attempt was literally over in a blink of an eye. I placed 2 things, and a punk zombie just waltzed over it like it was nothing. So let's just pretend that didn't happen. Attempt 3, I'm in attempt 2, went really nicely. I got my classic combo of twin sunflowers and magnifying grass, and bro, literally after this challenge, I'm gonna start using magnifying grass way more. I've actually been underrating this plant for years, and honestly, I'm ashamed of it. Obviously, we beat it with that, because come on, bro. Day 22 was 2 new things. First, a showcase of spore shrooms, which personally I'm quite a fan of. I don't know why, I've just always loved them. I'm aware that they're like not great, but I just like the mechanics of them, and I just love the design. I don't know. Then we were also introduced to the arcade zombies. As much as I love their mechanic, like I can't deny this is super cool, they are still so annoying at times. Thankfully, it's not so much in this level, but if you don't break the actual arcade machines fast, it can really cause trouble later on. But at the end of the day, this is still a conveyor level, so not too much to commentate here. Day 23 let us face those same arcade zombies in an actual level environment, so let's put it to the test. As long as I get rid of the actual arcade machines quickly, it shouldn't be a problem, like I said before. But already, it did not go as planned. When the first one showed up, it kind of just hit me that, oh, I have nothing that can kill him quickly. My only option was like fat beats on the side lanes, I guess, but even then, that isn't amazing. So I just resorted to a mower launch to kill them off. The more the level went on though, I did kind of regret setting off that lawnmower. I feel like I could have saved them, especially the one on the top lane. I don't know why I used it to only kill 2 cone heads. And it got especially close when these zombies got pushed forward. I almost lost it right then and there. I was just able to barely save the run with tall nuts. My heart dropped when I saw the breakdancer kick that bucket head though. It was just barely in range of the tall nuts still. So I just used a pepper pool plant food and we were good. Definitely had a lot of stressful moments in this level though, and it wasn't even like an objective or anything. Literally just a basic level. Day 24 was another plant defense, and this scared me a little bit. Given how my last plant defense were on day 13 with my 9 billion attempts, I was definitely a little bit concerned going in, especially with all the new zombies that have been introduced. My first attempt at this was definitely a choice, that's for sure, but I don't have too much faith here. I mean, 3 Peters and a banana launcher? I don't know about that one. Oh, huh. What would you look at that? Can't say I expected that, but I guess that's why you never judge a book by its cover, huh? Day 25, I feel like explains itself for why I won. I don't think I need to explain much further. Day 26 was protecting endangered sports rooms. I noticed that they were all perfectly laid out in the front row. I was wondering why, but it hit me as soon as the first punk zombie showed up. Just had to let them kick the shrooms back, which did feel a bit weird, I will say. But hey, you know what? It was an interesting idea, so I'll give them that. After that happened, there isn't too much to say. I had a nice variety mix of sun sources in the back with coconut cannons for like heavy defense. Then the sports rooms were able to do the rest if needed. We did unlock intensive care, which is a decent plant, I guess, but I don't know. Yet again, I've never been a huge fan. I think the idea is really cool, but I just never used it. I don't know. Day 27 was a random conveyor, I think for intensive care, but I don't know. I like barely got him. I believe this is also a first sight of the boombox zombie. Not really a huge threat. Just gotta kill him early, replace stuff after he charms your plants, then you're fine. Day 28, I got bombarded with arcade zombies where I literally only had peanuts down. Next attempt at this, I got sunflowers, which is a pro, of course. But if we take a quick look at my other plants, I only have snapdragons for an actual damaging plant. I didn't have much to do, so I just went ahead and do what I do best, which is tax evasion. Spamming, I said spamming. I just spammed sunflowers and snapdragons literally everywhere with the occasional jalapeno, thyme warp, or even magnet shroom. And surprisingly enough, it worked out for us. Day 29, yet again, need I say more? I feel like it explains itself perfectly. Day 30, I don't really know what happened here. I was decided of only having 15 plants stun me for so long that I just like died on the seat, but I didn't do anything for the first little bit, so obviously that attempt was cooked. Next attempt though, holy shit. This is probably the closest we've had for a day in a minute. Started off as a pretty normal day, I had some puff shrooms going, and when I saw a microphone zombie pull up, I just blew him up. I didn't want to deal with him. The first wave hit, and it was like a flash mob or something, and just so many breakdancers showed up, but they all just kind of got destroyed quickly. So still nothing crazy so far. Then the arcade zombies pulled up, followed by the second wave. I just launched both mowers to kill the arcades, because I could not deal with them just yet. They still did leave me with a Gargantuar and still more arcade zombies, but hey, that's why we say cherry bombs. I killed one, but I just let the Gargantuar take a lawnmower, then I blew up most of the zombies. I also just let the bottom row go as well. Final wave hit, and this is what we're looking at. Thankfully, we waited Gargantuar on the only lane with a lawnmower on it, so that was super lucky. I cherry bombed the big cluster here, but still to deal with the leftover bucketheads since they're invincible under the rollerblade zombie. Last lawnmower went out, and we still had a little bit to deal with. Realistically, all I had to do was just stall until I could afford cherry bomb again, so I did exactly that, and it worked out. And finally, all I had to do now was stall the final Gargantuar until I can get one last cherry bomb. This was probably the most stressful part for me. I just kept spamming push shrooms for as long as I could with the occasional stun unit thrown in there. And after around 30 seconds of doing this, I finally got the stun I needed and blew him up. That day was honestly just all over the place. I know me explaining it doesn't really give it justice. I kind of explained it horribly, but either way, we clutched it up in the end. And that was basically the last level. Day 31 was given plants with electric blueberries, so that was really fun. And day 32 was of course Zomboss. Really cool mechanics by the way for this boss, but the speaker spamming phase was annoying as hell. Same with Gargantuar to be honest. It doesn't matter though because we're done. Overall, this world wasn't bad at all, especially compared to the last two. This was definitely a nice break from it. I checked the shop one final time before moving on. I was debating if I should buy something, but I just decided to save, at least for now. Moving on to the next world, although I think I might have gotten lost. So I have some unfortunate news here. As much as I like this world for its aesthetic, it's sadly just really easy and a lot of it will probably be skipped over. I would have loved to do it earlier in the video, but it just doesn't have great plants and there are worlds I need to do before it. And speaking of plants, the plants that can be unlocked here are Red Stinger, Aki, Endurian, Stalia, and Gold Leaf. Overall, I can't even sugarcoat it, I'm not a fan. I feel like there's just better options for all of them, so I'm sadly going to place it in C tier. It hurts, but that's where I'm placing it. Let me know if you think I'm being a little bit too harsh here. But let's go ahead and begin. Skipping past the first 7 days and stopping just at the end of day 7. Once completing the day, it hit me that we had some shopping to do. So I went ahead, entered the shop, bought myself some shiny new gems, and sat here contemplating which plants to buy next. I was really eyeing the homing thistle, just hovering over it constantly, so I just folded and bought it. And I feel like I should save the rest of my gems, but as a responsible adult with any ounce of money, I couldn't do that. So I randomly bought cactus. Don't really know why, but hey, you know what? Why not, man? Alright, with that out the way, you know I said this section would be short? I wasn't lying. We first tried every single day up until day 23. I'll show all the plants and like the whole history and such for each day here so you can see like what I pulled if you're curious about that. But the levels themselves were just not interesting. It was literally me just finding one good plant in each loadout and spamming it. It's so much easier in this world, especially because of the gold tiles. It didn't even matter if I got a sun source or not. But as for day 23, that wasn't the case. Trying to use magnifying glass with only gold tiles isn't great. It was working for a bit, but like usual, we got overrun. Especially with all those dudes swinging in and those tents spawning an endless horde of zombies, it wasn't looking too good. Final nail in the coffin was just a shovel zombie ignoring everything and going right past my 3-peater. So that was pretty unlucky. It's all good though. Right when I saw my roll for the second attempt, I knew it was over already. A sun source and a spammy plant like starfruit? Thanks for the free win game. Wasn't even close. Day 24, we also had some issues and no surprise, guess what the objective was? I'll give you 5 seconds. The correct answer was, of course, produce sun. Yeah, okay, I'm not fooling anyone. It was Jambo Flowers. The first attempt at this was late in record time of around 30 seconds. Bro just swung in and I did not react fast enough. Reaction time of a fucking pelican, I don't know. Second attempt made me happy though because we got blowover, so we shouldn't have any of those relic zombies just swinging in. Okay, well I was right, the relic zombie didn't swing in this time. Attempt 3 had no sunsters, sure, but it had chambers and primal walnuts, so those flowers were getting maximum security protection. Ain't nothing was getting past this time. Also AKs were good too, sorry I didn't mean to leave you out like that. But at least the level was done. Day 25 and 26 both had good setups, just don't look into day 26 too much. Day 27 was a pretty expensive build, but I was willing to save up for it. We even got gold leaf after just unlocking it on day 26, so that could come in handy here. I bought some tile with lawnmowers as usual and got down 1 winter melon. Kind of realized I had nothing else going for me, but then I saw the 3 insta-kills and I went a little bit insane. Still was a lot of zombies on the lawn, but winter melon plant for my beloved. Honestly, I thought this was for sure winnable. Even once a big wave hit, I still just blew them all up. It was looking good, at least it was looking good until this relic zombie just decided to tank the winter melon because, you know, why not? So that was a restart sadly. Next attempt gave us primal sunflowers, so we were good. Even the other plants were insane, straight up all aggressive plants. Yes, even you sunbeam. We actually still almost lost it. Thankfully though, celery stalker saved me every time. And just like that wraps up Lost City. Day 28 was given plants with those silly trap tiles. Day 29 was a normal day, which I actually almost lost, but we don't talk about that. Day 30 was mold colony, but I had primal peaches, so need I say more. Day 31 was a toadstool given plants showcase thingy, and day 32 was the boss, in which I had to spam bok choy plant fruits, so that was something. But you know what this means? That was the final world before modern day. It all comes down now to this world. Back to where it all started. Well, here we are. After 278 levels and I believe 74 plants unlocked, we are here. Back in the modern day. Oh wait, wrong game, my bad.
You used to call me on my stuff.
There we go. Realistically, I know this is like the cinematic ending world, but I don't tend to usually struggle with modern day all that much. I hope we have at least a bit of a challenge this time around though. The plants that can be unlocked here are Moonflower, Nightshade, Shadow Shroom, Duskclobber, and Grim Rose. Some seriously strong plants when paired together. Sure, I probably won't get lucky enough to get them together, but I'm not taking that into account here. Even some of the plant foods are literally just like screen wipes, so I think I'll have to throw it in at least A tier, probably just at the bottom though. But with all that out the way, let's go into our final run. Since this is a finale, I think it would be fitting to not fully skip any days and just start at day 1. This way you can see all my jank setups as well. Day 1 was still pretty chill, of course. I had a bit of a panic attack when I saw the rift open in the middle of my setup and spawn a pharaoh zombie tome thing, but other than that it was fine. I could already tell though from day 1 that these rifts were going to be annoying as hell to do with. It's okay though, at least this day already unlocked Moonflower for us and it was already nice enough to pre-select it on day 2. With a guaranteed sun source, it wasn't too bad. Also for some reason, almost all the zombies were from Egypt, so that was a nice reunion I guess. Day 3 was just a conveyor showcase for Shrieking Violet, another favorite plant of mine. Day 4 we actually had a bit of trouble. My main problem was just having no sunflowers like usual. I feel like you probably heard this like a million times by now. The zombies were just pushing in so fast and I just could not keep up at all. I was spamming guacadales left and right, but it only held for so long. I made it to the final wave just barely, just by yet again a ton of guacadale spamming, but we still failed it in the end. Attempt 2 we had an actual good sun source of sunbeams, so we were in good hands. Oh, and I guess twin sunflowers helped out a bit too. Yeah, we actually just like shredded the zombies in that one. It wasn't even close. We did unlock Nightshade from day 4 and auto picked it for us on day 5. Sadly though, this plant is really bad without moonflowers, which we did not roll, so they never got placed unfortunately. Day 5 was still quite a mess though. I'm so thankful we got Thyme Warp. It saved me a crazy amount of times. Surprisingly, same with Magnifying Grass. It saved me a bunch of times even though there was no sun source in sight. Day 6 we had to raise 4k sun and our sun source pull for this day was twin sunflowers. I wasn't worried for this day. Twin sunflowers with these plants, our setup was looking mad spiffy in the end. I took a break after this attempt to see a shop and I proceeded to hover with Toadstool for a bit longer than I would have liked to, but I did end up buying him in the end because of the fact that he can generate sun. That could maybe come in clutch some days, but it's gonna be a crazy situation situational. So day 7 was definitely a day, that's for sure. First attempt was clearly, I don't even know what this is. Second attempt went good, still had some scary moments, but we managed to save every single lawnmower, so that's good. Day 8 was Beghooled. How do you say that?
Bejeweled.
Ah, okay. Personally, I love doing this minigame. It's just like super satisfying for me. I don't know. I love it. Day 9 was giving plants with some good choices, so no complaints here. Unlike day 10, where I did have some complaints. No sunflowers and 2 quite expensive plants isn't amazing. It basically just leaves me with not so great plants, and with weasels catching me off guard, it didn't go too good. Second attempt gave me lightning reeds and strong insect kills, so I was gonna be fine. Sunflowers or not, it didn't really matter. Lightning reeds are so good at dealing with big hordes, and especially good against those damn weasels. It was still really close at the end, but man, thank god for those insta kills. They single-handedly saved this run. This day awarded us with Shadow Shroom, and just like the good old reliable winter melon, they have a stupid plant food. It quite literally just kills everything currently on the screen, so hey, you know, I wouldn't be mad if they got automatically chosen for us in the next level. Wink wink. Oh, would you look at that? Thank you, day 11. But to my surprise, I didn't even end up using them. The homing thistles were able to clear up quite well all by themselves. Okay, that was a lie. They need help from potato mines, chili beans, and just actually every single lawnmower. But you know what? A win is a win, my friends. Day 12 was another don't lose more than X plant stage, and you guys know me, I just love doing these, right? But oh, just you wait, it gets worse. Okay, maybe the zombies won't be that bad though, cause dude, what? No, wait, no. So on top of having to not lose plants, they were bringing back dinosaurs for some reason. Like, just why not, man? That's so sick. So I may have been a bit worried for this one. First attempt at this, my plants were looking quite terrible. Not too amazingly cheap of plants to use without sunflowers, and the cheap ones I could use count as losing a plant, so not a great look. But I did miraculously get perfume shroom, so maybe there was a sliver of hope. This day also had another amazing idea of bringing back the umbrella and shovel zombie. So I had to mix up my plants a lot, and honestly, god, this day was a huge mess. I was charming dinos left and right, using all my insta-kills, using plant food every chance I got, but it wasn't enough. I made it to the last wave, but I couldn't do anything to defend it. Might as well just slide the attempt counter in now. I know we're gonna be here for a while. Attempt 2 had me using lightning reeds again, and we're actually dealing with the early waves super well, killing everything quite fast, even with the dinos on a lawn. First wave hit and got rushed quite hard, but I just let some lawnmowers go, and we were honestly back on track. Still holding up really well, right up to the final wave. We now had to Gargantuar on a lane with no lawnmower. I just did whatever I need to do to kill him, so I used chloroform in a row, squash and celery stalker. They only costed 100 suns, so living off a budget, I guess. Then by the time the Gargantuar was taken care of, squash was back up, so now every non-lawnmower row was safe. Which means, wait, oh, we're done? Oh, well, you know what? I guess we won't be needing this thing then. Day 13 was another Bejeweled minigame, and day 14 was giving plants with Triggering Violet. But day 15, we had to protect some more nuts. I don't know why there's been so many endangered nuts. Who's taking all these nuts, bro? Hands up in the comments, man, don't be shy. But this day wasn't bad at all. We got sunsource and some other decent plants, so we passed it quite effortlessly. Holy shit, did you hear that? I started glitching out. And I did what I always did with plant feeding the nuts, so they weren't even going to break easy even if they reached them. Day 16 was our final turn at the one and only infamous key level. Although the modern day one is quite different. If you can't tell, it literally only spawns Gargantuars. Yep, that's basically it. And honestly, I do quite like it. It also gives you really strong plants, so I think it's an overall fun time. We got the key, but we won't be using this one sadly. Maybe in a different timeline. Day 17 was definitely a choice, and you don't know how surprised I was that it worked. I've never been a gold leaf enjoyer, but shoot, after seeing this work out as well as it did, maybe I should be. It actually carried us so much. Day 18, I believe to be our first time using both toadstool and cactus in an actual day, so that was nice to finally get some value. Unfortunately, I made a pretty bad choice to try and use magnifying grass as my main fire source. I feel like I should really only use those with sunflowers because it just doesn't work out that well, especially against some of these zombies that take like multiple hits. Second attempt at this had a rough start. I know I literally just said I shouldn't keep using magnifying grass without sun source, but this time around I had nothing else that was ranged and actually shot in like a straight line, so I'll allow it this time. But it didn't even matter anyway. I just mostly relied on my Charmers and Cold Snapdragons. They were able to clear up mostly everything. I just used the magnifying grasses for the occasional surf zombies. And I said it before and I'll say it again, I love the buff of Charmer being able to shoot 2 zombies at once. It's actually such a perfect buff to him. He works so much better. Day 19 was an escape route showcase, and I love the idea of escape route. Like, it's a super creative idea, but I never find myself using them. Just not for me personally. But of course the day was super easy. Day 20 was just a basic day, and at the start I've already completely messed up my placements. If only there was some like magic button to fully reset the zombies or something. Even still by doing that though, I lost the lawnmower because I had to build up sun for my secret weapon. It's no secret really, I don't know why I just said that, it's literally just winter melons. And once it was placed, boom, plant food, and boom, basically everything was dead. Honestly, having those roller baggers there was so good for both sun and killing zombies that the melon couldn't reach. So I guess I was a genius all along. It was going pretty good, I even got down another melon right on the final wave, and then it started looking a little bit rough, but you know what this calls for? Winter melon plant food.
Later.
And thankfully, the way the plant food hit, it full on saved me. Just as I killed the rest of the zombies, so I thought more to buy some time and sold my melons for a plant that can hit all lanes, which of course would be banana launcher. Once the bucket heads were gone, I just stalled the Gargantua with a charge guard and we were good to go. Definitely was close to a loss here, but we got very lucky with many different factors here, so I'm very thankful for that. Day 21 was our first sight of the All-Star zombie, and they aren't like the worst in the world, still aren't fun to encounter, but there are definitely far worse zombies out there. First attempt at this day though wasn't ideal. I tried to set up celery stalkers for the first wave, but then my entire plan kind of got shut down once I saw a rift just spawn right after it, so that was amazing. And I thought it couldn't get worse, but those All-Star zombies just ran through and took my lawnmowers, followed by Mike zombies starting to spawn, followed by me just straight up dying. For attempt 2, we had gold leaf again, which I was super excited to use again. I placed all my charmers on them, and for once, we actually had a nice symmetrical setup going, and it was working out perfectly. I had to do some replacing of charmers because they couldn't chew fast enough to deal with all like the rift zombies, but other than that, this day almost went flawlessly. Day 22 was the second final Bejeweled, and holy shit, bro. The amount of matches that we got in a row that day was wild. I swear it just kept happening like match after match after match after match after match. Like it was insane. I'm pretty sure it was the fastest I've ever been that day, only taking around 1 minute and 25 seconds. That was some actual insane luck. Day 23 forced us to use Grim Rose, and hey, I ain't complaining. We weren't lucky enough to also roll Moonflowers with it, but nonetheless, it could still be useful. There isn't too much to say about this day, it was just a lot of pushroom spam, and honestly, that's it. Day 24 was almost another easy win by spamming pushrooms, but this newspaper zombie just chewed through so much faster than I thought he would, and we lost it right then and there on the final wave. Thankfully, attempt 2 gave us magnifying grass with an actual decent sun source for once in this world, so it was so much easier. Kinda got cooked at the end, but hey, it was the final wave, so who cares. Day 25 was this intensive carrot minigame thing. It was an interesting level, but why they're doing this now instead of Neon Mixtape has always kinda confused me. It doesn't matter though, not like it was difficult, just kinda random. Day 26 gave us twin sunflowers, so I wasn't worried in the slightest. I had to let the first lawnmower go here in order to build up some sun, so I'm sure I won't regret that later on, right?
Foreshadowing is a narrative device.
Once we get the sun going though, it was looking really good. Even got towel terms, which saved me so much with the bowling ball plant food, but then do you remember that lawnmower I let go? It came back to bite me. A balloon zombie was just flying through the air elegantly, and I completely missed it. So that's on me, and I was quite mad at it too, because I had such a good setup going, but it's alright. Attempt 2 got us with more pushroom spamming, right? I meant attempt 3. That was a misinput. Actually, why am I still defending these lanes? Give me this shit. Okay, we should be fine now. I can just plan for one of the lanes if I need to and then replace the chompers, so yeah, we're fine. Honestly, watching it back, I seriously don't know why I was defending those lanes so much. I really should have been focusing on the non-lawnmower lanes first. I really gotta do that more often. Day 27 was now a final Bejeweled, and yet again, there was just so many matches happening so quickly. Definitely not as fast as the last one, but it still had its moments for sure. Day 28, we had to produce some sun, and I thought for sure, for being so late into the game, it would be like a crazy high number, but nope, 3k is literally nothing. And like always, we're guaranteed a sun source for these objectives, which ended up being Primal Sunflower. So with that being said, I don't think much else needs to be said. Ooh, wait, hold on, that was a bar. Day 29 was super messy with all the gravestones on the lawn. I tried to make it work, but god, it went to shit in an instant. I should have lost every lawnmower within like 30 seconds. Final wave hit, and surely we win with this, right? Yeah, okay, that was really bad. Attempt 2 got me using such a wide variety of plants. It was somehow more messy than before, but it failed once again. Just couldn't deal with those final Gargantuas even after spamming my entire loadout on him. It just did nothing. He just tanked all of it. Attempt 3 went so much better though. My main strat, and something I should have been doing on the last one, was just to abuse the shadow shroom plant food. I don't know if I forgot about it or something, but it is seriously no joke. We made it to the final wave with every lawnmower still intact, so we were hella chilling. Day 30 was now the final day that took us more than the usual amount of attempts to beat. And could you guess what the objective was? No. We're not doing this survey thing again. It's trample flowers. I know it, you know it, the seagulls crabbing on my deck know it. There's no point. But either way, here are all the attempts, here's the timestamp to skip, and here we go one final time. Attempt 1 honestly should have been the one. Good sun sources, pretty good fire source, and a decent potential for insta kills. It was going really well with some close calls, but we failed it right at the goddamn end when this Guacadao didn't kill the All-Star zombie. Attempt 2 literally ended in like a minute. I was getting ready set up, then All-Star decided to sprint tackle in, and yep. Attempt 3 was even quicker. I thought for sure this imp would die, but I did fail math, so there you go. Attempt 4 we had chompers, so I just spammed them all over the flowers, and I thought it'd be good honestly, but I messed up badly when trying to buy time by spamming plants, and I placed the sunbeam. This messed up my timing because I was waiting for a full eating animation, but it went away instantly, so I couldn't react in time. That definitely could have been the one, but I threw it away. Attempt 5 gave me another shot with chompers, and I tried to reset them faster if they were chewing. It was at least easier this time as well because I had primal sunflowers and charge guards for worst case scenarios. Wait, they're important. Wait, wow. Attempt 6, I got primal walnuts for the first time, so I took massive advantage of that and literally put 3 rows of them. I tried to replace them as good as I could, as well as making sure I still had strong firepower. Finally, it was enough to get me through. Honestly, this should have been beaten on like the 4 other attempts, but I just kept making dumb mistakes. But my friends, with all this done, we are basically complete. Day 31 was escape route showcasing, but I still had to actually try a bit, but it was still easy. Now that leaves day 32, 33, and 34. 3 different versions of Zombots with different plants. As per usual, they were all conveyors, so I don't really have much to say challenge-wise, but during the last one, I just want to say thank you if you made it this far. As I'm writing this, it's been basically 3 months since I started this video, and I'm super proud of how it's turning out so far. To all the probably like 4 people that found this video, I just want to say thank you for being here. And with that being said, Zombots is defeated, and the Plants vs Zombies 2 Planet Randomizer is completed. Yet again, thanks to anyone that made it this far. It would amaze me if so, because I know this video might be a lot, but I appreciate it deeply if so. As for some notes on the challenge, I know there were things I could have definitely done differently. Like first off, I know I didn't have to do it in Gardendless, but it's the only version of the game that I can record and use most comfortably. I'm sorry, I just hate BlueStacks with a passion. I hate using it, I don't know. And I probably also could have played on A difficulty, but I just didn't really know how hard it would have been. Either way though, I hope it's still made for an enjoyable video. And for those that remember, no, I didn't forget to buy Hypno Shroom. After beating the final boss, I went straight to the shop, bought Hypno Shroom, and closed the game and hibernated for, I don't know, around 14 hours straight. That was a really good nap. For what's next, I got a lot in store. As you may have noticed, this is my first video on this channel and I'm planning a lot. Don't subscribe if you think I'm only going to post Plants vs Zombies. I'm not that kind of person that can stick to a game, so I need variety. Definitely will be some more PvZ in the future though, so look out if you are interested. As for other games, whatever I'm doing, get ready for more challenges or even some 100% runs. But with all this out the way, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I hope everyone has a great rest of their day. Bye bye.